We are live.
We're back.
We're back
We're back.
in full effect.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hello, everyone. It's like if you guys could see this, it's like 6,000 people on the
It
other
is
side
a
of this
huge
camera.
crowd.
It's
but,
crazy.
But I appreciate everybody being quiet for it, so
Can
you
can
can
we
hear
get
all the
some?
crowd
Can we get
noise.
some crowd noise?
Yeah, there we go. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if we picked it up or not, but I liked it.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It's
you
good
have.
for my ego.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
mean, my ego almost can't get any bigger, but it just did. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling refreshed. Got a little break. Got some food. Excited for our next group of guests.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of fun things to talk about today.
All right. Who is our next guest, Gary?
Our next guest is Mr. Michael Clemens, the co-founder of the Queer Running Society and a store owner out in Louisville, Kentucky. So let's welcome Michael Clemens.
All right, dope. All right. What's up, Michael?
Where am I sitting?
You're right here.
Awesome.
You're right here.
Right in the middle.
Right here.
Get your headset on so we can hear you.
Headset, speak into the microphone, and we're good to go.
Hello, happy to be here.
Oh, so yeah, where we go. We're good. So thank you, Michael, for coming onto the show.
Yeah, really excited about it. Happy to be here. Happy to talk with you all about Queer Running Society and all we do and all we're looking to do to support the running community.
All right. Well,
yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah. So what's your goal here at the conference in general?
Yeah. So Queer Running Society is a very new organization. We were founded in May of 2023. So,
okay. So
we are in our infancy right now, and we are here to show the running community that the queer community belongs and we should be included. And so we have a booth here at TRE, but we're also looking for the brands and the organizations to show that they support the queer community and they're out here to support it through funding, through visibility, through bringing awareness to the LGBTQ plus community.
That's great. I know you mentioned that you're looking for more than just the rainbow logos on their Instagram pages. So what can some of these brands do to kind of show additional support or kind of get more engaged into the queer running community?
Yeah, so right now we are completely volunteer led, and we're looking like some of the other organizations that have been founded in recent years. You can see that the growth really comes when you have full-time staff and full-time support. So we're looking to hire somebody full-time, which the challenge is for 10 brands to sponsor QRS with $10,000 to allow us to have a full-time staffer to come in to bring some of that data analytics to show that the queer community is supported, and let's have these brands put the money where their mouth is and not just throw a rainbow on a product in June and then at the end of the month realize that the queer communities doesn't exist anymore or we're not supporting them. But let's do it year round by supporting QRS.
And I loved when you said that on our call, and I'm glad that you were able to kind of dig deeper into that. But because I definitely resonate with that, because it's like every February it's like it's Black History Month, so it's automatic, and you just see a few different posts here and there, and then it's like kind of business as usual in March. And
Exactly.
And it's really cool to have a brand really tap in and understand what the community needs and continue to push. And what's up, bro? I couldn't fight it. But yeah, so I think it's really dope that it's like, yeah, we want to be. It's not about give us that month too. Yeah, hey, say what's up. Let's do some initiatives around that. But how can we do something year round to make sure that it's meaningful to all the people that are running year round as well?
Yeah, and that's something Queer Running Society, we're here to do that. We saw that if you look at just overall society right now, according to the ACLU, there are over 500 anti-trans legislation bills in progress right now. The community, we see so often that people say all you need is a pair of shoes to run. But for queer runners, they may not feel safe in the running spaces. They may not feel welcome at local running clubs or at local races. So QRS really wants to provide a resource for queer runners, for brands, for organizations to know how can we build a safe place for this community. We see 1 in 15 Americans identifies as queer. We see the Gen Z community, 1 in 5 Gen Z identify as queer. We should be supporting those people. We should be showing them that within our running community, they are welcome and they have a safe space.
I think that, I mean, the thing about the running community that's special
Yeah.
is that it's all encompassing. You know, it's not. I mean, it every color, background, whatever, can run, does run. So it's like it's just such a great ground to start some of these initiatives and make sure that that's not just being overlooked because it's just running. I mean, because it seems like, you know, someone may be like, you know, well, it's just running and we're all just doing it, but those things that are super commonplace, like running, walking, outdoors, those are those places that you really can hone in on and make sure that that industry is aware that it needs to be more inclusive
Yeah.
and more equitable, for folks, that so they can come to the space. And because running changed my life, you know, like it was you know, sobriety first and then running next. And without running, I mean, obviously I wouldn't be sitting here, but running itself and like that whole the structure of it taught me so many things about life, that I want more folks of color to be aware of and be able to experience. So I super resonate with the fact that it's like, you know, we need that energy for queer folks as well.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke to a few points there that I think are really, really valuable, that sobriety also changed her life. And we see in the queer community that a lot of times where LGBTQ plus individuals are gathering, the only place that we tend to gather are gay bars, are bars.
Mhm.
So how can we bring health and fitness into it? And
Yeah.
running does change lives. We all do this in it, and we see the mental change in us. The LGBTQ plus community also has higher rates of depression, higher rates of suicide.
Yeah.
We know that the value of running is just that much more beneficial for our community.
So what are you seeing out there that's good? Like what if you can name, you don't have to name any brands, but like who's doing, what are you seeing out there that's being done right or improving, that you want to like say this is an example of what other brands or racers or what it should be doing?
I mean, and if there is a brand or a running store or whatever that is doing it right, yes, like call them
Yeah,
out.
we do see brands like Brooks that
Yeah.
are saying year round, we want to show support for that. We see Lululemon sponsoring Nikki Hiltz and their athletic pursuits. We see REI doing a lot for the queer community. And it's these brands, like I said, that are trying to do it year round. There are so many brands that you see rainbow wash, throw that rainbow on there in June and not do it beyond. But we have brands that are out there doing it. We also see, I come from the race management background. So I work in operations in the running space. So seeing a lot of these races bring in non-binary categories, support non-binary runners at the same level that they're supporting their other athletes, and showing them that they're welcome at our races is really big, and something that I think we at QRS want to help to foster. We want to provide that training to races, but a lot of times we see races come to the LGBTQ plus community and say, "Hey, come do this work for us."
Okay.
We don't want to give you any money to do it. You want to be included, come do the work for us. But
That's not helpful because
not.
yeah. I mean, there's, like you said, there's limited to no funds right now for staff, much less having to put together a training or come in and actually do the work yourself. So yeah, that's where you guys were talking about earlier. We need
Financial.
Exactly.
support and an infrastructure to build that off of.
And it's just mentally and emotionally taxing when we talk about this anti-trans legislation or don't say gay laws. Just to exist sometimes is mentally and emotionally draining. So then to tell us on top of that, hey, you have to do the work to be included within the running space, it's tough.
Yeah.
So let's provide those financial resources to support it.
And it's like it's that switch from a brand perspective. Instead of saying if we're involved with you, you should be happy. We're supporting you by just being the brand that we are, and you should just kind of go along with that. as opposed to being an opportunity for them.
Exactly.
I mean, because like someone kind of mentioned last night to me, about this thing that we're sitting at. This isn't like an exclusive, like a black thing to do, But the thing is, like, it hadn't been done before, and it came from us,
Yeah.
So it's like, just by saying like, hey, we're opening the door not to check a box, so to speak, but to open the door to whoever wants to figure out how to build things in this community, in this space. We're the conduit for that, as opposed to come help us be more visible or accessible so we can get more customers.
Yeah, exactly. And I think TRE, I want to give a big kudos to TRE for doing that, for allowing Queer Running Society to have a booth here, to be a part of this experience. But I would challenge all the brands out there to ask yourself, what are you doing to support the queer community? What is it? Is it just one product that you do one time a year? That's not enough. Let's figure out a way. And there's buying power in it too. We talked about, if you look at the LGBTQ plus community, it's $1 trillion community. We have buying power, we have spending power. So not only is it good to do, but it's green to do.
Yeah,
it's good for business.
That's a good one. Good to do and green to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to add, I guess, just to add to that, it's like, it's, if you don't know what to do in specific communities, then just, how to cut a check. I mean, not to be weird about it, but you know how to cut a check, and you know who to reach out to, because I mean, it's simple. And then reach out to Queer Running Society and figure out, like, hey, what can we do with you?
Yeah, we see a lot of brands or a lot of organizations that are like, they don't want to do it wrong, so they don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's not going to benefit anybody.
Right.
So let us help you get it right and make those next steps. And it doesn't have to be perfect all at once, but cut a check. Let us consult with you. Let us work with you to just get it off the ground.
Exactly. All right, man. Thank you so much. Well, how can, before you get off the on the live stream, how can folks find you and support?
Yeah. So we are at queerrunningsociety.com. Very easy website there. We are also have a booth here at TRE.
What's your booth number for brands that might be listening right now?
2205, booth 2205. So we are right over here by the live stream. I can see our booth from our area. We got our big pink background. We are rocking it out here, and happy to chat with anybody. And also follow us on Instagram, Queer Running Society. Check out our website, get in touch with us, and we're here to bring that LGBTQ plus inclusion.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, we're moving right along here.
Thank you, Michael.
I gotta take this one off. I'm under the lights. It gets a little crazy, bro. It's a little crazy. So what we got next? All right. So we have, Merrell.
Merrell.
We got Merrell next.
Is this John?
Yeah. We got John from Merrell next.
All right. Come on up. Come on down, as they used to say on the TVs.
I was on The Price is Right. I'm not on The Price is Right, but I went to The Price is Right.
My wife went to like one in Detroit, not at the actual like LA studio, but they're touring.
The LA studio. Yeah. I've got the name tag. It's like my good luck. I'm a Lions fan, so I put it on the inside of my Lions jacket. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
You grab your headset here,
so you can hear yourselves and get close to the mic there, so we can make sure we hear everything you say.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to. You're in Michigan.
I am in Michigan. Yeah, the brand is in Michigan, just north of Grand Rapids.
All right, yeah, because we're not too far from you. We're over in the Detroit area.
Nice.
I'm in Novi. Gary, I think Gary's in Bloomfield.
Yep.
Now, do you pronounce it Detroit or Detroit?
I say Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, like, so if we're talking about basketball, it's Detroit basketball.
Well, my wife always says Detroit, and I say it's Detroit.
Yeah, well, I think it's like
I think it's too much to think about. I just say Detroit.
I think it's Detroit, but then like at certain times I will say Detroit. Like it's the police, but sometimes I say police.
Yes, exactly.
I got you. That's just like, I don't know how it happens, but it just happens at times. Well, thanks so much, John, for being on the show. How's the? We're only like halfway through the first day. How's it going for you?
It's been great. I
Yeah.
think the foot traffic that we've seen is double what we saw last year
That's good news.
from an overall inside the booth. I don't know in terms of the show, but it feels like the vibe is really good and people are walking around and excited to talk to each other.
Yeah, did you know that
It's
this
been
is
good.
this is the biggest expo that they've had ever?
You know, I've been coming here off and on since 2011, and I feel like they've never opened this side
yeah,
of
first time.
the convention. So
Yeah.
it's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's actually huge compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I was just here last year, and when you walk in here, it's just crazy.
And you guys got impressive booth over there as well. That is
We are
nice
high
structure.
tech
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like a little trail you can walk on. It's an electronic like glass floor.
I haven't
So
seen
you can
this
walk
yet.
on it, and it turns from the road to the trail.
No kidding.
And like, yeah,
Okay,
really.
that's the first stop after we get off of here. We
Yeah.
got to go to the Merrell booth for sure.
Yes, and you got to walk on the trail. So it's
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
Yeah, because it's how do you bring, the outdoors into like an expo show?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It takes a little bit of technology and some TV screens and
Yeah.
some platforms, but we did it. It's good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
So yeah, talk
what-
about tech.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the shoe game right now.
So
what's happening?
when it comes to the shoe game around trail running, we've really decided as a brand to work with athletes that are truly in the trail space. And so we're a global brand. So we work in the European space, we're in Asia, we're in North America. And so in those different places, there's different athletes and different disciplines, and we sponsor different races. And so one of the biggest things that we started a few years ago was really incorporating sky running athletes and sky running, or like VK running. So if you're familiar with that, it's like sky running is above a certain elevation with a certain grade or uphill level to it.
Okay.
And really a lot of it is lightweight, very specific shoes for that space.
Yeah.
And so when we were sponsoring those athletes and sponsoring those races, we wanted to make sure that we had the best shoes on the course. And so really Merrell Test Lab was all about listening to those athletes, creating different shoes, like different iterations of the shoes. Like, hey, do you like this shoe? Give us the feedback. We go back, we change it. Yeah. You go break it again, and then we change it again. And then, so the test lab is really not a lab at all. It's really how do we keep working with athletes and putting things out on the trail to be tested. And then by the time it actually hits the market, like this Long Sky 2 Matrix right here, like it's had thousands of hours of athlete testing and feedback. So it's really data driven from an overall experience standpoint. It's like, that people have ran in those shoes thousands of miles before they hit the trail. So they're legit, and they're also great for the performance that you need.
That's awesome, man. I mean, and so traditional. So I think you guys sent me those shoes. And I opened the box.
You're a lucky guy.
Yeah.
I opened the box and I'm like, wow, they look good.
Yeah.
Because I mean, shoes have come a long way. Just running shoes in general have come a long way over the last 5-6 years for sure. But then I also was like, wow, like these are really great shoes. And I've seen trail shoes before too sometimes, and they can be a little, not less appealing, but these look like road shoe, like vibe meets trail.
Yeah, we had a couple athletes that were like, you make fuzzy dinosaur shoes, meaning like they're really overbuilt.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're crunchy, like kind of like outdoorish.
Yeah.
We want like cheetah shoes.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I mean.
And so we've been working with the supplier, like this material up here is like, that's the supplier that we work with, Matrix.
Yeah.
And so there's a few different brands that work with them, but it really allowed us to kind of sleek down the design and the overall feel of it. And then our color design team does a fantastic job. And it was really all about like, how do we get super progressive? So I think this has done a really good job of that. And to your point, like, how do we get faster? Like, just because you're running the trail doesn't mean you can't have the most sleek athletic product that is on the market today. And, using those types of materials has really advanced us as a brand too.
Right.
So
and I feel like trail runners are getting faster. You know? So it's not like a power hike. It is a run. And so, we're road runners, but we want the fastest shoe there. So I sure assume the trail runners want the fastest shoe as well.
Exactly. And there's a little more dynamic to the overall builds of the shoes because it depends on the trail, but it also depends on the athlete too. So I think having different capabilities in trail based on those different athletes is an important piece to the puzzle too. Because if you're working with one athlete and they like something versus another athlete, you may get different feedback. So allowing ourselves to be open to it and really adjusting on the fly has been something that has helped us as a brand. And then I think trail run is, there's more. We're trying to be true to the space, true to the sport, true to the athletes. There's more money on the road side, but I think there's more purity and opportunity on the trail side because you're seeing a lot more people race that way.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely more opportunity on the trail side right now because I don't know whether this is true or not, but I feel like 2020 and the way the pandemic kind of played out, it kind of pushed people to like trying a different thing and maybe like getting out in nature a little bit more. Did you guys see a spike in like interest in trail running after the pandemic?
Big time.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that, there was a time where everyone had to sort of get away from each other.
Yeah.
And so it was harder to do that on, like the city streets than it was necessarily in nature. And I think one of the things about the pandemic that really struck a chord with us and also was true to what we've done is we're an outdoor brand that wants to be friendly and accessible to everyone because we feel like getting people we say like off the couch, but getting them outside, literally outside into open spaces, we believe like improves their livelihood and their lives. So making products that inspire people to go outside and to be in nature and to, kind of fulfill those new adventures is exactly what the pandemic sort of forced people to do. So we just kind of stepped into who we are and accentuated that opportunity. So yeah, we saw a spike and we certainly ran out of product,
That's
like
we're
trying to get it back. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a good problem to have for sure. Cause I think there's a carryover. Maybe not everybody's still doing that same thing, but there's certainly been a carryover for people continuing to live those sort of outdoor lifestyles and want to get into those natural spaces.
Right. No, I hear that for sure. So like what, so now that you're here at TRE, what is one of like your main focuses? Hopped off the plane, built an amazing booth. What's your goal here?
Well, I think our goal is to just let people know that while we're certainly a friendly outdoor brand that wants to get people into the outside spaces, like we're not, I think a lot of people look at us as just like, oh, we're a hiking brand or like my mom's slip-on shoes brand. And so for us, it's really about legitimizing.
Hold on. I have those mom's slip-on shoes.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
have some sweet shoes. Yes.
Yeah, and they're very comfortable.
So we do play in different like categories.
Yeah.
And so I think for us here at TRE, so I hopped off the plane. I'm like, hey, how do we let people know that we're not just a brand that creates trail shoes? We're a legitimate trail shoe brand. Okay. And that's a difference, right?
Yeah. That's a good way to do it.
That's why we work with athletes. That's why we use the best materials, the best products, the best designers, and really we're going into the space to create ourselves a little spot in the best of the best in trail.
So what's their 2024 look like? What are you excited about just overall going into the next year?
These shoes are going to come out next year for the first time, but I think continuing to work with athletes, the brand has been committed to signing more athletes.
Okay.
So you're going to see more athletes come out wearing Merrell singlets and, clothing, and just the ability to work with those athletes. Because the more that we work with them, the more feedback they give. Yes, they inspire and sort of really dictate the high-end shoes we make. But now what we're finding is like all that information that we learn about the high-end shoes are starting to work into the rest of the trail line.
Oh, sure.
So everything's elevated when we get a chance to talk with the athletes. So I would say working with more athletes and continuing to just iterate on the product that we have.
That's fantastic. And then what are some of the major races you guys are sponsoring?
So we don't sponsor races as much, but I think some of the major opportunities that our athletes have at races like Black Canyons, which is a race in Arizona, which is a Western States qualifier. It's got 3 different golden tickets for men and women. So we've got some athletes that are really super excited. You'll see we're going to tease some product on those athletes' feet during that race. And then we have one athlete, Ragnar de Bats from Spain, who just won a golden ticket actually at the recent Javelina 100. She got into the Western States.
Okay, great.
And so we've got a couple athletes looking to do that. So Western States will be fantastic. And then our European team has a huge activation around UTMB.
Oh, good.
And so I would love to get to UTMB myself. I've
You
never
gotta get
been,
there.
but man, I gotta get there. So maybe,
Yeah, no,
maybe that'll be the best for me.
yeah.
My
no
wife
kidding.
says if I go, that she has to go.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to cost us money for me to go.
Well, you
So
know,
there's like
Well, no,
a half
which-
of me is like, yes, we should go. But then it's like,
I'm assuming she's watching.
Yeah.
So just look into that camera and tell her exactly what you needed to know.
let's go to UTMB.
All right, there you go.
You
Yeah.
know, I would never leave you out, honey. We will go together.
All right. Well, hopefully PR Project will be there too. It's in some capacity. Listen, if to go to UTMB, I'll run a 50 miler.
Yes, I
You
will
know?
do it.
I'd do that just to be able to go.
All the races are hard to remember. There's like the CCC,
There's like 7 of them,
Yeah.
right?
the
Or 6?
ABC.
it's like the alphabet
DXY.
of races.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all challenging.
And
so,
then there's one that's the UTMB.
yeah. So
So-
the UTMB is something that maybe, I mean, I would do, but I think I would regret it very
Yes.
quickly.
Very
It's-
quickly. Yeah.
But I mean, hey, sometimes you just got to go after it.
Get it. If you're gonna go to the Alps and you're gonna bring your wife and it's all paid for, I would go as far as I need to go.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna go where I would have gone with that. Like if I'm gonna go in the Alps and I'm gonna go with my wife, I'm gonna probably try to go run 100 miles.
Yes. Yes.
But thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
How can people
great
find
meeting you
you
guys.
and support?
So find us, Instagram, all those social places at Merrell. So certainly check out the brand websites.
Yeah.
We also have sub-brand websites around trail run in MTL.
Mhm.
So Merrell Test Lab is what that stands for. So please check out our athletes, check out our product. And then here at the show, we've got the techie lit up Merrell sign. So come check us out. Come see the product.
Yeah, you can see it from the booth here.
Yeah,
or
for
the,
sure.
the studio, as I like to say.
Yeah, well, what we'll do is after this, we'll stop by the booth and then
Yeah.
also
Yeah, come check out the trail.
and then also we gotta hop in a car and come over to Grand Rapids
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
love that.
for sure. Check out the
Come,
place.
we've got a couple trails we could run or
Let's do it.
walk or hike or
Let's do it.
We'll
wear
do all three. We'll
slip-ons.
do all three.
All three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as
Yeah,
well.
thank you guys.
See you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right,
All right.
man. So Gary,
It's a great looking shoe.
I'm never gonna let you live this down. The fact that I ran a trail race, Broken Arrow Sky Race.
You did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did, and I'm gonna talk about it forever.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I did it. and
I
it
think
was
everybody
challenging.
here knows that.
And if they don't, they know
It
now.
was like 10 years ago, Tommy.
It was this.
let it
It was
go.
this summer.
But
Yeah.
oh, was it?
Yeah.
It feels like forever ago.
Well, no, it feels like yesterday for me because it was so much fun. But yeah, so actually, on that note though, we're trailing it up right now.
Yep, more trails.
More trails. And next we have LOWA coming up. We have Susie from LOWA, digital marketing coordinator, and she might as well come on up. And we'll talk a little bit more about trails. We'll talk about what LOWA is doing in that scene. And she brought she brought a haul for us, that's for sure. All right.
Make sure we get in front of the camera here.
No, these are these are for me.
All for you.
All for me. Sweet. So yeah, toss on the headphones and we're good to go. Get as close as possible to there if you can. Then we're good.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
All right. Is that
There we
good?
go. Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. All right, you are a professional at this and also creating amazing trail shoes. So how are you doing?
Doing great. This is my first time at the running event. Loving the vibe. Love Austin.
Yeah, I was
All
gonna say,
good.
what are your first thought when you walked in here? What was your first thought?
There's a lot of big brands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And where's LOWA based?
Well, so our global operations is in Germany,
Mhm.
but our U.S. operations, we have marketing in Salt Lake, and then our warehouse is in Stamford, Connecticut.
Nice. And so like when a brand like LOWA comes into the space and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, a lot of big brands here. What's your goal for this conference?
Yeah. So LOWA, I mean, we've been around 100 years, but LOWA is known for our hardcore hiking, backpacking, and mountaineering boots. So we've got an established following and audience for that. But because trail running is a relatively new category for us, it's awareness.
Yeah.
You know, people know us for our renegades, but they don't know us yet for trail runners.
Okay.
So what better place to get out the awareness to dealers than the running event?
So yeah, so how do you kind of reframe what the public thinks about a brand and what you're known for? Because it's not like hey, this isn't working, let's do something different. You're like,
Right.
hey, we're also very good at this. how do you manage to figure that out as from a marketing standpoint?
Well, I think for us, it's building on our tradition and our core products. So again, people that know LOWA, they know us for our durability, our quality, our technology. They know we produce quality premium footwear. So again, I think building on that story, trail running, the technologies are a little bit different, but in the end consumer, they don't want to be worrying about their feet. Like
Right.
that's what we pride ourselves in, is loading our footwear with technology so that you're out on the trail. The last thing you want to think about is your feet.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to think about my feet sitting still, let alone on the trail. So I definitely understand what you mean. You may not have heard it, but I ran an 11K at Broken Arrow Sky Race.
Oh, did you? When was that?
So I talk about it often because it's like, as a road runner, like we don't randomly run like trails and climb mountains and stuff like that. So to be able to do it, he's just jealous that he hasn't done it yet, but that's fine. So do you have, like, as a brand, do you feel like you get a lot of like newer to trail folks, or is it more of like the experienced trail runner that attaches to the brand?
Well, and again, we're relatively new into the trail running space.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we just launched in May of this past year. So, again, I think people that are already familiar with LOWA are just seeing that we're offering trail running. So again, that's still a goal for us, is to get that out there.
All right, well, let's talk about some shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, you brought plenty to talk about,
Yes.
and I don't want to keep people waiting. They're like, well, let's talk about the gear. I think Gary wants to talk
Okay.
about the boots first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a primary hiking company, I assume this is a hiking boot that will, yeah.
So so all three of these right here are on our Four Tucks platform. So
What's that mean for me?
our German team developed that the naming. I
Yeah.
think it has some Icelandic
Oh, it's like a
Lord of the Rings background.
Okay, I'm with it then.
I feel like we can make up
Lord of
something
the,
right
yeah,
now.
Lord of the Rings is great, so I'm with it.
So again, back to your earlier question of how are we reframing our story around trail running. Again, when we're thinking of the construction of the shoe, we like to start from the sole and then build that up. So all of our soles come on a LOWA track outsole. So it's going to be a super grippy, sticky rubber outsole, bi-directional lugs, weight reducing cutouts. Again, I mean, that's probably one of the first things with trail running is you want to feel like a superior grip there. So again, we build that on a really solid outsole. And then, so again, the Four Tucks is going to be more of our beefier model that's going to eat up a lot of miles. It's also going to be good for your person that likes to use their trail runner more as a hiker, which we see that a lot. I live in Salt Lake, go out onto the trails, and a lot of people are hiking and trail runners. So again, so for that user that wants to have a little bit more cushion, this is going to be a really nice rocker shaped right there. And then the upper here is called the Jacquard Weave, which is going to be lightweight, durable. And because it has a Gore-Tex invisible fit lining, you want to make sure that your upper is really breathable. So that way it just doesn't get trapped with that Gore-Tex. So this is our Four Tucks Gore-Tex quarter cut. That's a little bit of a mouthful.
Well, no, like from the road side of things, they have 70 names for one shoe, so it's we get it for sure.
Yeah. So again, because of this built up ankle cuff, if you're running out in the winter with snow, this is going to be a great shoe. Or if you're on a trail that has a lot of scree and debris and you just want a little extra protection on your ankle for ankle rolling, or the person that likes, again, they're not ready for a more sturdy hiking boot, they like the flexibility of a trail runner, this is going to be a good option for them. So we're really excited to be able to launch this next summer.
Oh, fantastic. So sorry. So this has got the like the cushion and comfort of a running shoe.
Yes.
But a hiking shoe doesn't have as much cushion.
Right. Because it's a Dyneema midsole versus our hiking and backpacking shoes are going to be on a PU midsole. So again, it's going to have a little more cushion. But again, there's always a give and take.
Right.
If you are using a trail running shoe, the midsole will break down a little bit faster than a PU midsole.
Yep.
So again, it gives people the flexibility if they want to hike or run with a trail runner.
Sure.
And so just to jump over to the looks like on the extreme other side of this, let's talk about this one here, because this is the fancy looking one as a road runner. This is the first one that I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
And what should someone know if they're like, hey, I think I want this shoe because I'm somewhat newer to trail, or I run on trails, but I kind of do it like on more of like a road shoe. Would this be one that they could go for?
This is a minimalist fast shoe. It'd be for someone who again doesn't want. It's got a 4 millimeter drop, so it's not going to have a big heel drop. Also, the heel stack is going to be a little bit lower, so it's not going to be as cushioned. This is more for your fast 4 foot, midfoot strike runner. For someone that's just getting into trail running, that kind of wants the flexibility to walk and run, we call the Amplux our do-it-all everyday trail runner. This is kind of my go-to. So again, it's going to have a little bit more cushion, but all of them are going to have that nice, sticky LOWA track outsole.
Yeah.
The upper on this is going to be a little bit different than the Jacquard weave on these. So you have this really cool Reptex PU. So again, that's there for durability and to prevent abrasion. So again, trail running, that's a thing. Scree, rocks. Again, that's drawing back from our LOWA story of durability.
Right.
We want to make sure you're out there, you're safe in our footwear, and it's not going to break down after a month of use.
Right. Well, so how can people find you? And number one, thanks for being on the show. But then how can people find you and find a little bit more about the company as well?
Yeah, so we're lowaboots.com is our website. We also have social on Instagram. Again, LOWA Boots. Yeah.
All right.
Again, it's great to be here. Thank you, Tommy and Gary, for
Oh,
having
no,
us.
thank you
No,
so
thank
much.
you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't take the headphones with you.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, I know, because it could get tragic. Yeah, honestly, man, like I think 2 guests in a row talking about trails makes me want to maybe figure out how to get back on a trail, Gary.
I think for sure. I mean, even when this is ice and snow, we'll have some opportunity to do some trail running.
Yeah. So those shoes that look more like kind of like that middle ground of like road shoe, trail shoe vibe.
Yeah.
Those look like those ones that we could wear like in Michigan and say like, hey.
I'd like to test out the running boot. The that she just had up here.
Yeah. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I would go for
I'm
more
curious
like,
to see how that would feel like on a trail, like running wise.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I just feel like the higher like the boot feel. Like I don't know if I could.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know either. So let's give it a shot. And
I'll try the other one. I got my own one.
We'll race.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Gary. Gary wants to race on the trail. Before our next guest comes up, I just want to do a quick shout out to Emma. I think Emma's grandparents are watching the live.
Yes.
So hello, Emma's grandparents. If you're still watching this live, thank you so much for tuning in. Emma's doing an amazing job, by the way. So I just wanted to give that shout out.
Yeah, I know. We really appreciate the support. Emma's grandparents.
From Emma and her grandparents.
Yeah, Emma's doing a good job. You should really see the whole floor because Emma really put together quite the conference here.
Yeah, Emma did the whole thing. Apparently, I think she like built all of the stuff. Even Merrell was like over here talking about they did something. I think Emma did.
She's the one that switches from road to trail on the Merrell Trail.
It was her idea. I heard.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of tech. It took a lot of Emma to do that.
Yeah. So thank you, Emma.
Thank you, Emma, for bringing Merrell into the 21st century. No shade to Merrell. Yeah. So next on the show we have Mizuno. We got Chris Brewer, Senior Director of Running, and Shinsuke. Sorry. Yeah, Shinsuke. The head of footwear. So let's get up here and design.
Come on up.
Let's talk. Let me move out of the way.
So while Tommy's adjusting, I see we got some shoes here. I know that these are some new shoes being introduced this weekend or coming up this year, and we're really excited. We kind of talked about it briefly earlier. You get your headset here. Yep. Earlier this year when we first introduced each other, but we're excited to see what you'll be introducing to the to TRE and to the live stream and to the rest of the world. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
If you want to.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So yeah, thanks guys for being on the thing. And number one, so I ran in the first version of that shoe.
Yep.
And I was like, I saw it all over the internet. I mean, literally, I think Mizuno broke the internet that year when that shoe came out. And like, I don't know which content creator or whatever had it, and I think it might have been like a more extreme version with almost like no heel. And it was like, what is happening? In like, how do you run when the shoe with no heel? And then I got my hands on a pair and absolutely love them.
Yeah.
And so can we just like before we show these shoes or talk about these, can we just talk about the concept of innovation in that way and what made you want to go with, hey, we're gonna change up the way a shoe even like looks and it almost has no heel to heel strike on.
Can I say?
You say.
Yeah. Yeah, no heel is a very surprising, yeah, way to describe our shoes. But so it's like no heel. Yeah. So this is what we did in our past development. As all of you know, the super shoes has evolved the form technology and the plate technology so much. But we didn't stop that two things. So we were seeking what is the next right step to enhance our running sensation more. Then finally we found that sole geometry can make big benefit for runners.
Yep.
That is the beginning point of our development of no heel geometry. And after doing some tests with tons of testers, so we found this no heel geometry can save the energy of calf muscle during forefoot running.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a bit beneficial for runners, not just standing out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing out market in the look side, but yeah, at the same time, this is very beneficial for the elite runners.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I think
interesting.
it's a just in itself, it's a cool marketing
Yeah.
thing. Like just the look of it's like it gets somebody to reach for it to see, oh wow, what is this? And to hear that portion of it about like there's actually some geometry made there and like and some benefits in the longer haul of a marathon is interesting to hear. And I think that might be, I mean, it might have been like the first time I heard it. So that's dope. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know my initial thoughts were that it would over time strengthen the calf because you're really kind of keeping yourself up on the toe. But the way you're
That's
describing
right.
it is not so much. It's the rolling will kind of keep your calf
Right.
in motion and fluid and
Yeah.
not overtaxed.
Yeah, actually. So this is a very important area of this no heel shoes. Yeah. This can stand your calf muscle.
Yeah.
So by these shoes. So without any the muscle load, so you can take the forefoot strike position.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in each step, we can feel that benefit in the long marathon distance. That's a big beneficial for elite runners.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. So it's designed to put you more on the forefoot and
right.
midfoot to take the load off of like the back side of the leg.
Course, probably the worst shoes for the heel strikers.
Yeah. A heel striker looks at that shoe like,
Yes,
well,
that's
that's
right.
not for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the thought on that though? I mean, because I don't know the percentages, but like, what do you say to like folks that are traditional heel strikers?
Yeah, actually the traditional heels basically how to run efficiently in the marathon distance. We thought deeply, and that take forefoot at the midfoot strike is a very efficient for runners. But at the same time, it takes big stress for the calf muscle.
Yeah.
So but if we can release that stress by our construction, that's a big dream shoes for over the forefoot trainers. That's a concept.
I think too, Tommy, to your question, I think that what they do geometry wise and how they build the shoes, how Shun and his team build the shoes is everything is thought of, right? There's a science that goes into it, and it allows the foot and the body to move the most smoothly as possible, right? It's super smooth. And so talking about what you just asked about the heel strike, we also have other shoes in the speed category like the Flash that it has a little slightly different geometry, which allows for any runner to run in a shoe with that same speed feel and that same quickness to it.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. So since you kind of segued into that, like, let's talk about the shoes that we have here. You have the Flash in your hand. I think the first Flash that I had looked much different than this, and it looks like you're leaning more into some uniformity between the Wave Rebellion Pro and the Flash.
Yeah, I think the whole point was for us to have a family of shoes that people could understand that look the same but function differently. So you'll have kind of that family look, right? So within speed, we have the Rebellion 2 Pro.
Can
Pro
I see
2,
that one over there?
Yeah. Which has a more aggressive angle than even before.
Yeah.
In the heel area there. And then we have the Flash, which is designed for more people to be able to run in. So this is your carbon fiber plate, and then we've got the fiberglass plate. So functionality a little different, but you can see they look like two brothers from the same mother, if you will.
Right. Yeah, it's like if you like this one, for whatever reason, like for marathons or for bigger workouts and runs, here's another shoe that you'll feel basically the same, and you can get some different uses out of it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
A little more versatile shoe with the Flash, and definitely a more specific go fast marathon shoe with the carbon plate.
And we're from the Detroit area, and so we see a lot of vehicles riding around that they don't want us to know what's going on, so they put like a weird like wrap over it.
Here we go.
We can see that it's a Ford Explorer, bro, but it's just like it just doesn't. So what's good segue? I see you saw where I was going.
No, well done.
So now I have a Ford Explorer in my hand.
Right, Ford Explorer. So this is a mystery shoe, top secret. So we're launching this June of next year. I'm not even going to tell you the name.
Oh, really? Okay.
But the idea is it takes a ton of cues from what we just talked about, the high-end shoes that are built to help them go faster. So it has this smooth speed assist built into it.
Yeah.
It has a different midsole geometry than we've ever done before. And then what I think is critically important here too is we've updated how we build the upper, and we've gone for a much more simple approach. And it's truly what we call sense of Japan. And in Japan, if you know how people design things, they only design what's needed and they don't do a lot of extras. So we removed a heel counter area. We removed all the heel foam packages. The shoe fits like a glove, and it runs so super smooth. So any shoe you see from us from now on will be judged by how smooth the shoe rides. And so while we can't talk about the name right now, we do have it in our booth for people to look at.
Okay.
We're selling it in for autumn winter right now, so people know it's coming. But we'll unveil it in April, May of next year to the general public, and we'll have a huge marketing push behind it. So make no mistake, everyone in the world will know about this shoe when it comes out next year.
What'd you say the name of it was?
Good try.
So,
jeez, I tried.
Well done.
I was gonna get you there.
so you had mentioned that for the wave that you were doing wind tunnel testing. Is it the same with this shoe, or is it also doing like testing out on the roads?
Yes.
Got athletes out there. Are they anybody racing in it yet, or just they're still doing in the testing phase?
Racing, you mean on it like where people can see it? Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
So we do, as you imagine, with Mizuno being the scientific company that it is with footwear, we do a ton of testing, both in the lab, which is our new Mizuno engine over in Osaka, which if you've never seen it before, someone might be going there in February with us, but it's an incredible facility that allows us to do the wind tunnel stuff, the strike plates, but we also have the shoe on foot.
Okay.
So we have runners with over 600 miles training in it. And I'm telling you, runners who run tempo runs at really, really fast paces, 5-minute kind of stuff, to people who just really just love to run and run at 15-minute pace, right? And people who even walk. So we leave no stone unturned with the testing.
Great.
You won't see it on races yet because we haven't released it yet. And it's really more as a super trainer
Yeah.
than it is a racing shoe. These are the racing shoes. This is our first true super trainer in a silo we're calling Swift, where people can train at a really fast pace, but also train slowly. So it creates it's a new category for us.
No, I mean, super trainer is just a new category altogether, really.
Yeah.
I think maybe the past 2 years is when the term has come out. I know there's a Believe in the Run.
Yeah, I think they might have coined.
They
Super
coined it, but
Trainers.
they've also got the first category this year is the Super Trainer of the Year.
Yeah.
So yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
You guys are shooting for 2024 Super Trainer of the Year.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
there we go.
fact.
He said that's a fact. I like
Yeah.
that. Speak it into existence.
But that's exciting. I mean, I've been a big fan of the Super Trainers. Just for a recovery run, or like I know I've got a easy run with in quotes where I want to pick up the pace at the end, which happens with me more often than not because Tommy doesn't like to run easy.
Come
So
on.
There's a little
But
bit of truth.
That's
in there.
not. There's
Come
no.
on, come on.
Gary is
Come on.
not is
Come
known
on.
to push the pace.
We know. We see you all over the social media.
That's only for you guys.
but no, I'm excited to hear to see it come out next year, and hopefully we'll get a name with the shoe sooner rather than later.
You will.
Yes.
You will behind the scenes.
So if I wouldn't trust Gary. For say someone is running like a spring marathon, and they're like, hey, I think maybe I want to check out the Wave Rebellion Pro 2, or Wave Rebellion Pro. Like, what if somebody's running like a marathon in February or something like that? What would you tell that person before he puts the shoe on?
Well, you're talking about the fact that it launches in January and they only have a few weeks.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just saying someone new to that.
Someone.
I mean, I think anyone, any new shoe you try, especially with something with a unique geometry, I think you have to ease yourself into it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't want to go out and run a 12-mile run in something so new. But I think once you figure out how the shoe works for your foot and you see that it works with your foot, the results are going to speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Everyone who runs in this shoe, it's unbelievable. And you can see this was the first shoe with the geometry of its type in the market. And now other shoes, there are a lot of other shoes that look similar to it now. So we knew the science was right, and people just have to get it on their foot and give it a whirl, and then they're going to love the results.
Awesome. Yeah, because I think I was surprised. Just like I haven't tried these on yet, but with the Wave Rebellion Pro, the first one, I was very surprised at and pleasantly surprised at how comfortable the shoe was.
Yeah.
For it to be a shoe that's just shaped so much different than what we've seen before with the no heel, like no heel, but the very minimal heel.
Right.
And I just figured like, oh, this is going to probably be fast, but maybe not the most comfortable shoe. And I think that when someone's like looking at it from like Instagram or maybe even on the shelves, it's just surprisingly comfortable. And so like that's just like a compliment to you guys for being able to put this look together and have it still be a shoe that isn't uncomfortable at all.
Agreed. I was pleasantly surprised when I took it out because I did some early speed work over the summer when we did our summer of speed program. I had those on my feet for quite a few workouts, and I was like, just because they just made me feel fast. So
I think that's really cool, Gary, and you too, Tommy. I think one of the things with a shoe like this is it is so polarizing that it makes people feel like it's probably a more niche shoe than it actually is, when really a lot of people can run in this shoe for racing, obviously. But when you put it on the foot, all the science that Shun and his team work on over in Osaka, the geometries are dialed, and then the materials that go with the geometry are super dialed. So on your foot, it works like it's supposed to, and it creates a little bit of magic.
Yeah, no, and I've done a bunch of fairly easy miles in it too, and like literally like, hey, today I need this, and I went on an easy 8 miles in them, and they get a lot of attention, which is probably why I put them on. But secondly, it's a good shoe, and I feel good in them. So that's that. And you can't say that, but I mean, not all super shoes are made equally. There's some that you love to run fast in, but you got to kick them off as soon as possible. And this isn't one of those. So good job, guys. Good job.
Cool.
So what's coming within the next few months or several months that you guys as a brand are really looking forward to?
Well, the mystery shoe.
Okay, yeah, the mystery shoe. Well, that's a little farther out. Yeah.
So no, I mean, we're launching the Inspire 21 here in a couple months too, and then of course these two shoes come out in January. So really, we're repositioning ourselves in running specialty to create a wave of shoes, if you will, that are consistently updated and made to be disruptive in the market. We're really looking to disrupt the market, create a new way of looking at our brand and how that can help running specialty. And we're a brand that's truly dedicated to running specialty as a channel. So you'll see us continue to update our shoes in a way that will modernize them and bring a lot of curiosity to the brand once again. So you'll see it as we go into spring 2024, but then also fall 24. And then we've been pre-lining some stuff this week with spring 25 and fall 25, and the reaction's been great. Now it's been a little bit of like, whoa, is that really a Mizuno shoe?
Right.
Which we think is pretty cool when people have that reaction.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. I know we had mentioned that as well on our earlier calls, how Mizuno is looking to really disrupt the running shoe industry, and I think just judging by the reactions you've heard so far, especially with the Wave 1, that you're well on your way to doing so.
Yep, feels good right now. We got a lot of work to do and a lot of miles to cover, but going in the right direction thanks to the guy next to me who's creating great product.
And then as a company, just even outside of running, the Mizuno name is very large in many different spaces. How has it been difficult to push in the shoe lane a little bit more because of the magnitude of the brand and so many other things? Like, people hear Mizuno and they think many different things. Like, how's that been growing this side of the business and pushing it forward and making sure that it lines up with like the level of the other Mizuno categories?
It's a great question. I think one of the things Mizuno has been known for decades, probably the 106 years we've been around, is that innovation is everything we do, right? We are constantly innovating. So if you look at our golf silo, our golf business, constantly coming up with ways to make irons better, way to make the woods look and feel different than they've ever done before. For us, it's a positive because we can double down on how they innovate in those areas and take that over into our area too. And it allows us a little bit of room to try things differently than we ever would. Making some mistakes along the way, some stuff that no one ever sees. But it allows us, when we do come out with shoes that have been dialed through that process, leaning on some of the learnings we have from other divisions, it allows us to come out with shoes that truly kind of disrupt the market.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, I feel like we know where to find Mizuno, but let's shout it out. How do people find Mizuno and support the running side of the brand?
Yeah, it's awesome. So MizunoUSA.com, and then we're all over social media with a few different handles. So look up Mizuno Running on Instagram, and we're all over that too. So we're there.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
And enjoy the show.
If you want to, if you want to drop the name of the shoe, go back to the YouTube and cut in the comments.
Maybe do it. Create a little fake account and then start trolling.
All right, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. Give us a thought. Thank you all for having us. Really great to be here.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget your headset.
All right, man. Yeah. So
I think we got some exciting shoes coming out from Mizuno.
I just want to know the name of the shoe.
So how many guesses do we get? Now that we're off mic?
He said 0 guesses.
This is
0.
No,
Gary, stop.
none
Don't
guesses.
get us canceled, man. So we got a couple minutes before the next brand comes on. How are you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you got your coffee?
Got coffee, got some water, got my
water.
ketones.
Coffee, water, ketones. I think that's the way to go.
Yep.
Yep. Well, so you like the Wave Rebellion Pro 1?
Yeah. No, I did. You remember I was kind of like skeptical at first, but once I got them on my feet, I thought, oh, okay, I get it now.
Well, I liked so for me, I loved the look of the other one, the one with the it had like the black and white, crazy
the wrap,
look to it.
the car wrap,
the car wrap. I like the look of it, so I'm like, I'm putting those on and running because let's have some fun.
Yeah.
But then I literally put them on and was like, yo, these are really cool. They're really fast shoes too.
Yeah, I think my first couple runs were literally on the track with them.
Yeah.
That dirt track we found.
Yep. Yeah.
And then the high school.
Yeah, and it's actually decent because the dirt track. We ran on a track that was we probably weren't supposed to run on because it was being
redone. They dug it up. We said we got this.
We said we're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And we went around that thing pretty quick. So we got a few more before we end up the afternoon. We got our coffee, we got our water, so we might as well get ready to bring up the next guest. We have a runner's mind. We have Nick and Eileen, who are going to be joining us to talk all about a runner's mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, things are about to get weird here.
Things are about to get weird. if you've ever wondered why your mind is so crazy, it's not that type of show, guys. We're not fixing anything in your heads. You're just crazy by yourselves. Headphones, make sure you get close to the mic and so we can hear
yourself in the
talk.
mic.
Yep.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling?
Feeling good. How you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Your
I'm
voice
doing
isn't. You haven't lost your voice yet.
No, I mean I've been trying to get really close to the mic so that like I don't have to really talk as loud.
Okay. Good.
Yep. So the thing is, if anybody's watching this that is at this conference, I will probably not talk to you later just because I'm just done.
Yeah.
You know,
understandable.
It's not because he's losing his voice though. It's kind of a prima donna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's said that a couple times so far, and I mean, I'm not saying it's true.
You need
but
new lines.
I'm not saying
Yeah, me
it's not. He's not wrong.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna lean into that. So yeah, so let's talk about a runner's mind. Let's talk about let us know like where you guys are, and then the history of the company.
So we were founded in 2010 in Burlingame, California. Our owner grew up in Burlingame, ran for Burlingame High School, went away to college, had worked in a small local shop in high school. And when he got back from college, the shop had closed down. So at 22 years of age, he decided to open his own shop. And here we are 14 years later.
Oh, wow.
13 years later.
22, huh?
Yep.
What was you doing at 22, Gary?
Not this.
Not starting the clothing, not starting the store. And so like 2010 was a good time. Just I feel like to start a company, but we've been through a lot of changes in society and in the economy since then. Like, how's it been in the last few years as a store?
Well, maybe you've heard of COVID.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That was obviously a huge, just brick wall that got thrown up in front of us, and we knew we had to get over it somehow, right? And so immediately we transitioned to doing online virtual gait analysis. I really have to give a huge amount of credit to our community. They showed up immediately. We were in a really strict state. California, especially the Bay Area, had really strict regulations about who could do what, when, and where. And so for months we were closed, nobody coming into the store. And our community really showed up and really, they said, look, I don't need new shoes. I just bought shoes a week ago before you all closed down, but I know we need you here 5 years from now. So I'd say like the biggest thing is our community having really stepped up to keep us in business.
So how do they do that? Do they send you videos and then you would respond back, or?
Yeah. I threw up a page on the website that just gave a quick brief understanding of send me a video that's filmed from the back that you running down the hallway coming back at us, and then we would schedule a time on Google Meets I did like 6 to 8 a day, where I would spend about 30 minutes kind of analyzing somebody's video gait analysis through the computer and explaining to them everything that essentially we would tell them in the store.
Oh, wow.
And then doing a share screen on my computer to pull up our website to show them a bunch of different options that would be good options for them to go, to buy from us online. And yeah, it was pretty amazing. I mean, for months I was doing 6 to 8 virtual gait analysis a day.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great. 'Cause we've been talking when we talked to other retailers today about how the community really steps up, or even your local run shop is the community center for runners. So that's great that the support that a runner's mind had over, I mean, really, you talk about 2020. So the store's only open 10 years. So to build a community like that helps, community knows it's important to keep you guys in business. That's nice to hear. It's a good story.
Yeah, I mean, there were also some brands that really stepped up for us. I don't necessarily want to name names, but there were some brands that stepped up for us in a huge way and gave us amazing support. Pretty much just wrote off bills for us, said, don't pay us this money, that sort of thing. So, I mean, we definitely had the support we needed from the whole industry.
If we could talk off air about who those brands were, because I need some, you can help me out too, 'cause I probably ain't gonna pay you back.
And our community, our landlord for 3 or 4 months and allowed us to pay back some other things over time, which was super helpful. That's too. Awesome.
But then, I mean, in that innovation or that like rise to the challenge to say like, hey, let's do something a little different. Send us a video. We'll help you out still. I mean, it wasn't like you just like were sitting back and like having the community and brand support you just because deserve it.
We needed to stay in business. We needed to keep selling shoes.
But I mean, but you stepped up and you still provided value. So that's how companies survive any tough time or good time is by like stepping up to the challenge and being agile and continuing to push and and innovate, because that was the innovation in a way. So like what part of like the company culture like that you still feel that was strengthened because of COVID?
Do you have an answer there?
I think just that we're so grateful when people came back to the stores from us. It really kind of enriched our experience with them. People were so happy to talk to other human beings, especially about running. A lot of runners started running during COVID.
Yeah.
So I think it just, it enriched us. And certainly we were grateful for them. And I think it just grew our community, strengthened it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's like, because the bad part about COVID is, I mean, a lot of businesses, went under and had to exit out of the industries that they were in. But then a lot of the companies that stayed around had to, number one, have help and support from the communities that they grew. I mean, because it wasn't like these people just showed up and said, "Hey, we're going to support you." You grew those communities, but then you also evolved because of it. And then those are the companies that are stronger today because of a downtime or a tough time,
Oh yeah, no, we certainly learned a lot of resiliency.
Yeah.
Through COVID.
Yeah, and then also too, I know that you guys kind of on that side of like the humanity side of things, because you had to build those communities. You guys are very into helping and changing, making changes for the environment. Can you talk about that and why is that so important to a runner's mind?
So the environment doesn't need to change. We just need to change.
Sorry,
That's
there
what
we
it is.
go.
We
There we go.
we need to do everything we can to support this planet to run on 500 years from now. We're active members in the Low Impact Alliance. I myself definitely consider myself a someday expert in how to host zero waste races. A huge case study we did with the city of Palo Alto back in 2019 for their Earth Day race taught me a lot about how to more properly host a race, a running event, any kind of event. It can be trickled down to what goes on in your store. And it's really, taking a full 360-degree bird's eye view of your event and saying, what can we eliminate that's just simply wasteful, right? And usually it ends up being cost effective.
Yeah.
Bringing in less to your event is going to mean you're going to be spending less money.
Yeah. Are there any races in your area, or just kind of like all over the country that you feel like are doing a good job taking steps in the right direction?
Yes, definitely. The Council for Responsible Sport has a really great guidebook that helps people understand how to make these changes. Runners for Public Lands also has an incredible guidebook that focuses not just on the environmental side of sustainability, but also the social side of sustainability. You can't have one conversation without the other. We need humans in order to do all of those environmental things. Not sure if you've heard of Hiccup. Hiccup is a really cool brand that came around recently that does reusable cups. At the Chicago Marathon, they had something like 30,000 reusable cups between the 5K and then the start line for the marathon. So cups that were used by somebody once, but then brought to a facility to clean and be used again in the future, rather than all of the single use, even compostable items. And so I think that's kind of where reusables are a huge part of answering this question, right? Cups, you can imagine how many cups get used at something like the Chicago or the New York Marathon. I think Chicago said they have something like 80,000 cups in total.
Wow.
And so they did a case study, they did a little pilot project with 30,000 cups, and it was successful. And so the next step is, well, let's just do all 80,000 cups to be reusable cups.
Yeah,
That's
and
fantastic.
then and so like, I mean, the reusable cups is like creating that like circular system, right?
Yep.
So I know a few brands like on the shoe side are trying to build and create that circular system. Can you talk about like the large impact that can have?
We need more time than 10 minutes to answer that.
Well, do it.
Yeah,
do
I
it in
mean,
two.
there are the best part about creating a closed loop system for shoe recycling is that it's inevitably going to bring guests back into your store, right?
Okay.
If they have to bring that shoe somewhere to recycle and get rid of, it means they're going to be coming back into your store. Can be a double-edged sword, right? Somebody who's environmental doesn't necessarily want to sell more things, but at the end of the day, we do want people coming back into our store for any reason, even if it's just to say hello.
Yeah.
I mean, one brand more specifically has created that subscription program to send shoes back, and I think the next step is finding a way to introduce the store level to that kind of project.
Right. Yeah, I get, yeah, because that's the thing is this whole thing is about brands and retailers, you know.
Yeah.
So like, how are you guys working with some brands to figure some of those steps out if possible?
Are we allowed to give those answers yet?
Oh no, probably not. Yeah.
There's yeah, I mean there's nothing in our store right now that is specifically a shoe subscription program or a recycled shoes program like that. I do believe in the next year that might be coming out. The biggest things right now, the Low Impact Alliance is launching a Better Bins program, which is an opportunity for guests to come back in and recycle their footwear, their athletic apparel, their athletic socks, and their nutrition packaging. And so I think that's kind of where we're focused more than anything is, you know, building that full circular system for anything that we sell in our store, making sure that guests know that they have a place to come back to get rid of those products.
And as a store, do you guys feel like your involvement in this actually brings more customers? Because like, hey, we see what you're doing and we want to support.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: we benefit from living in California, especially Northern California, where there are simply laws in place and regulations in place that require us to act that way, right? We have easy access to compost at our store. Not necessarily all brands across the country have easy access to compost.
Sure.
And so we definitely benefit from living in a pretty hyper conscious area. There are a lot of people in California who just believe in the importance of sustainability. And so, yeah, we've definitely been able to bring in more and more and more runners into the store simply by virtue of sharing that message.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you guys are doing great work. I mean, obviously, just the response and the way that you made it through a tough time like COVID just shows you like how important your business is to the local community.
Oh yeah.
Because without them, I mean, none of us would be here anyway.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys. Like, how does one find you all on Instagram? But then also, how do we support what you're doing on the environmental side?
The environmental side of it is industry wide, right? Like it's not just us. We're not going to do this on our own. And so being actively involved with the Low Impact Alliance, I'd say that's kind of where you're going to really get in touch with us environmentally speaking. Yeah, obviously social media, our website, come into our shop. But I think if you really want to join in on this movement with us, I can't say that it's just us doing this movement, right? We're actively involved with other stores and other brands who care about this as much as we do, if not more. And so I would say I'd point to the Low Impact Alliance for how to really get involved with this environmental project.
All right. Well,
We'll do.
Thank you, guys. We will catch you walking around the expo.
Awesome.
We'll see you
Thank
in a
you
little
guys
bit.
so much. We
Thank you so
appreciate your
much.
time. Thanks
Oh, no,
everybody
no.
for tuning in.
No problem.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I don't like you speak. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's dope. I love that. My favorite part of that is how the community stepped up and helped a business that they needed and loved stay.
Yeah,
in
those are good
business.
stories.
Yeah.
Even now, we're so far removed from the pandemic.
Yeah.
Just to hear those stories.
Yeah, I mean, because it's true. I mean, the pandemic was a crazy time, and it a lot of businesses didn't make it, but a lot of businesses did, and there's so many different reasons and levels to why those businesses like lasted it and made it through.
Yeah, it's the community for sure.
Yeah,
community stepped
100%.
up.
100%.
So
All right, man. So what we got? We got a few more on the docket. We have 4 more guests, 4 more companies that'll be joining us. So we might as well just jump right into this next guest or these next guests. Next we have the logo.
the logo
is up
says.
there.
I think the logo says it all.
The logo says it all.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you to just do it and hit the button to put the thing up, but you already got there. So
See,
thanks for ruining my
you should
joke.
communicate that.
So please give a round of applause for Kelvin Kipton, please. All right. So yeah, we've got Kelvin Kipton and Brett. Long name. Brett long name.
You can just hold the mic.
Yeah. So yeah, you can just pull that off.
I have a long last name too, so I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah. So we have Kelvin Kipton here, world record holder in the marathon, 2 hours and 35 seconds. Did it like it wasn't even painful at all. And then also we have Brett, long name. Could you say your last name so I don't do that again?
It's Schoolmeester.
Schoolmeester. Okay,
Yeah,
I
you got
got that.
you
I got that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Nike, thank you so much for stopping by. It's a big conference. Obviously, you guys are here to unveil a shoe that you have right here in front of us. Could you pass this beautiful piece of artwork over to me? Thank you so much, sir. We'll put this one right here just so the folks can see it at home. Brett, can you tell me about this shoe in particular and why it's so special?
Yeah, well, we're going to officially unveil it, but I think Kelvin and some of the other athletes we have really unveiled it to the world. Everybody was wondering what it was when they were having all these amazing performances in it. So this is the Alpha Fly 3. It's the latest iteration of our Alpha Fly series, which is our pinnacle pure marathon performance shoe. So the first iterations were the ones that Eliud Kipchoge wore to break the 2-hour marathon in his race. And we wanted to keep on improving. So we have a kind of forward-looking mindset, always thinking about how we can get better, very similar to our athletes, always wanting to improve. The team worked really, really hard. It was a high bar to clear to get better than the 1 and the 2, but based on what we know from measurable performance and what we're hearing from our athletes and the performances that they're putting in, feel like we've hit that bar.
Yeah, so I had the Alpha Fly 1s. But I was always a fan of the Vaporfly. Like the Vaporfly was my thing.
Yeah.
But then I had the opportunity to run in these, and I feel, I mean, maybe it's just everything's all up to the person, you know, the individual. But I feel like it kind of leans a little more towards more of a smaller type of shoe, and it feels a little faster for me.
Wait, were you briefed ahead? You're like giving my speaking points back to me, so that's good.
Yeah.
So,
They did a good job of letting us know, like,
well done.
what to say. Yeah.
Well, you're not alone. A lot of athletes fell in love with the Vaporfly and were hesitant to maybe try something new in the Alpha Fly. So one of the biggest things we were trying to do with the 3 was remove any hesitation somebody might have had in switching into the Alpha Fly for their marathon performances. So what we heard both from the world's greatest athletes and all the rest of us mere mortals was they wanted a shoe that felt like it had better transition, more stable, and more comfortable, but they didn't want to sacrifice any of the things that make it such a high performance product like energy return, propulsion. So that's really what the team set out to do. You'll see the most obvious visual thing. It's the first Alpha Fly with a continuous bottom. So we used to have a break between the airbags and the heel. That's all continuous now to create more confidence and a smoother transition for even more different types of foot strike. We've also adjusted the midfoot. It's a little bit wider. The last has been adjusted so that there's better arch support. It's going to be even more stability. Even these superhumans like Kelvin and Eliud Kipchoge, they break down a little bit towards mile 20. You got to look real close. So having that greater stability later on in the race is going to help them run even faster. And then for us mere mortals, I start breaking down around mile 5. So you need to have that extra support to make sure you're going to run faster all the way through to the finish line.
Yeah, I'm much closer to the mere mortal side of things.
Yeah.
Bro.
I mean, if it can take him to immortal status, it can take us to just being a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
we're all good with that.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
And then-
I'm sorry. I was a Vaporfly fan for myself, and then I've run in the 2 and now the 3. I was like, okay, because you see people in 2 camps, right? You have the Alpha Fly camp and the Vaporfly camp. I think I'm switching camps. I mean,
He said that mid run. He said that mid run yesterday. He's like,
good.
yeah, I think I'm an Alpha Fly guy.
All right.
Yeah.
And you can be both.
I can. No, don't worry.
No, I'll figure out a way to be both.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's amazing and where I think the team did such an amazing job is to kind of have your cake and eat it too proposition. So, with the shoe being a little bit more stable, better supportive, more comfortable, it also got lighter weight. So it feels like we should have added more to the shoe to accomplish all those benefits, but it's 15% lighter than the Alpha Fly 2.
Yeah.
It's the lightest Alpha Fly we've ever made. And, weight is always the enemy of speed. So feeling like all that wrapped into one shoe, it's going to make more conversions, more people who are going to become Alpha Fly believers.
Just out of curiosity, like what for weight wise from the Vaporfly 3 to the Alpha Fly 3, like what are we talking about? The weight difference?
Vaporfly 3 to Alpha Fly 3?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go to the expert in the crowd. 15 grams lighter.
Okay.
Yeah, the Vaporfly would be. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And then I mean, but it's like one of those things where it's like if it got too light, like Gary said, there's those Alpha Fly camps. If you got too light on this thing, I think a lot of the reason why people like the Alpha Fly is because you can feel the shoe. I mean, you definitely know where to put your foot down.
Yeah, I think from the inception of this super shoe era, which we started a handful of years ago, we've challenged the paradigm of it almost like an engine. Like you add more muscle, where does that shift go? Where the more muscle is worth a little bit more weight. We're always trying to improve both things at the same time. Add more to the engine, add more power, while also reducing weight. I think this is a good testament to that. better energy return. We know that the athletes are liking it. Feels faster, like you said earlier, but it's also lighter weight.
All right, so I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room. We're not gonna act like you're not here, Kelvin. So you ran your second marathon in the Vaporflies, and then ran this last one and broke the world record, 2 hours and 35 seconds, in the Alpha Fly 3. What are one of the big changes that you love about this shoe over the last ones?
I think the last ones it was much more heavier than this Faberfly. So I think the Faberfly is much better than the Alpha Fly.
Got it. And so for when this was your third marathon in Chicago, which is just amazing, by the way. Like, congratulations in person.
Thank you so much.
So third marathon, first marathon was less than a year ago. Our first marathon was less than a year ago. How are you feeling? I mean, I was gonna say how's your progression going, but we obviously saw that, right? How are you feeling about the marathon and the marathon distance right now?
I feel the marathon distance for me is good. I love marathon, so that's why I keep on performing good.
Well, yeah, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Do you think because you kind of jumped right into the marathon, you had the half marathon, and then you jumped into the marathon, where other athletes are track athletes and they do like the middle distance? Do you think you're setting the standard going forward for athletes, kind of like not having that track career and just going into the marathon right out of college, I guess, or whatever the next level, the pro level?
Yes, of course. More athletes start from racing in track. After track, come to road race to marathon. I think that's a good progression.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like we were just talking about it, because I mean you are like one of the first that I've seen really that rose to such great heights, that didn't do that standard, you know, track, then this, then that, and then you get to graduate, and then you run the marathon. You kind of skipped over that and had great success. I mean, because they say like you become a great marathoner around 30 something years old, and you're 23, 24. Yeah, and so it's like that's so crazy. That's super crazy, and so you just have so much more time just to keep building on that. And just recently, you announced that you're going to be taking a shot at your next marathon in Rotterdam.
Yes.
Yeah. And so do you have are you going after a sub 2? Sub 3. I'm a normal person. So are you going after a sub 2 in Rotterdam?
I think now I'm going to train well, prepare good. But my goal is to run fast. Maybe I get to beat my time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that answer is probably yes.
Yeah.
When you lined up in Chicago, you were training for Chicago. Did you have a time in your head that you were trying to go for in Chicago?
No. My plans to heading to Chicago was to run fast, to beat the course record. Yeah, but
you did both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that.
But you didn't have. So you were going for the course record in mind, not so much the world record when you got on the line in Chicago, or was the world record like the A++ goal?
Towards 35 kilometers, I knew I was inside to run a course record and again a world record. So yeah, that's why I keep on pushing.
Yeah.
And so you were pretty much by yourself at what 13 or 20K. You were like at 20K and you were probably by yourself, right? Were you? Yeah, you were running pretty solo by then, right?
Yes.
So do you feel like like are your hopes in the next race to have pacers a little farther along in the race, or are you're all right with that?
Yes. I think the pacers should do a good job, maybe towards 15 miles.
Yeah. You got to get them in some good shoes, man.
Yes,
you got to tell them to keep up, man.
Yeah.
So you're already training for Rotterdam. What date is Rotterdam actually?
I think it's 14th of April.
Okay, so yeah,
Okay,
so
wow.
a couple months. So
Yeah.
how's training going for you? Feeling good?
Yes, training has just started, but not so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, well, yeah, not so hard for you.
Yeah.
So, and we heard this rumor, or not a rumor, it's confirmed that you run very high mileage throughout training, and 160 plus miles or so. I don't know what that turns into for kilometers, but 160 plus weeks for miles. How do you do that? Do you just get out there and put in big work, easy? How's that work out for you?
Yeah, it's true. I normally do maybe 150, 60 above miles per week. Sometimes I go some easy runs and long runs, tough long runs. Yeah.
So I heard that you do. I think would you say it was like 22 times you do like 20 miles or so a week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's Thursday and Sundays.
Saturday and Sunday.
Thursday
Okay.
and Sundays.
Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I'm about to say, if you do 20 back to back, that's crazy.
So the 150, 160, is that the peak mileage, or is that just every week, or do you take some time off? I assume you took a little bit of time off after Chicago, like a day or two.
Yes. Towards race, you have to reduce maybe 120 to 130.
Okay.
Yeah, for recovery.
So I just an easy week is 120.
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy. So let's get back to the shoes. I mean, because this is a big deal for a lot of people. Been waiting to see, because we've seen, like you said, we've seen iterations of this shoe kind of popping up like on Elia's foot, and just kind of throughout the last few months or few marathons. What are you going to be racing in these in Rotterdam too? Probably.
Yes, of course. I'll
Okay.
be racing there.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is, like, what's your favorite thing about this shoe? Like the feeling of it, or is it the weight, or is it the snap, or why do you love this shoe?
Yeah, I love the shoe. The feeling fast, then the weight, and the shoe is comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And then so Brett, back to you for a minute. Brett, back to you. What's one of the things that from a product building standpoint, it just really has you all excited?
I think that what has me the most excited is we built this shoe to like push the boundaries of the sport forward. Like we do think that, we've already done the sub 2 hour marathon. We want to do it in an official race. There's going to be boundaries beyond that. There's women's world records falling. This is the best shoe we've made for those pinnacle performances. What makes me most excited is that those benefits of comfort, stability, transition are probably even more applicable to the runners going 2.5, 3.5, 4 hours. So it's not a, hey, this is only for Kelvin and the superhumans out there. It's going to be even more beneficial to athletes all throughout the pack. So I think, with the advent of the super shoe, you start seeing racing shoes go not just in the first 20 minutes of a marathon. You see them all the way through. That's really exciting because so many more people are reaping the benefits and having great days. And I think this will push that boundary even further forward as well, just seeing athletes all throughout the different finishing times having their best day, because those benefits are even more applicable to their run.
So speaking of those athletes who have all the finishing times all across the spectrum, when can they get their hands on the Alpha Fly 3?
Yeah, so we'll start retailing this one in January, and then we'll have increased drops throughout spring of 24 and on.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And also, just really quick, you blew my mind when you said this. So after Chicago, you said that when someone was asking, like, do you feel pain out there on the course, and your answer was no, that you don't feel pain. Can you tell me how I can get to be like that, please?
I think the shoe also helps, and again the training.
Yeah. All right, so I just got to run in the right shoes.
In the shoes.
And enjoy the race.
All right, that's good. See, now that I can possibly do.
Yeah.
I can do the last part for sure. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I want to take a picture with you and meet you It's up.
Are
We're
we
good.
live? Is
Can you
it-
check on the internet? Can you check on? Okay.
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 So they heard all that screaming and carrying away.
That's what I can confirm, Gary. He is not AI.
Yes, we did shake his hand.
He's not AI.
He is not. He's real.
He's real.
Yeah.
We had a conspiracy that he was AI, but he's not.
Yeah.
All right. So he is not AI. Thank you so much, Nike, for stopping by. That was great. Those shoes are amazing. We ran in them yesterday and got some really good miles in. You can, if you are excited about the Alpha Fly series, you are rightfully excited. Hey, we got one person, so you jump that way.
You want me to slide over?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We gotta give some honor and respect to the next guest. So we gotta get ourselves together really quick. Yeah. So thank you, Nike. Thank you, Calvin, for pulling up. And we are very happy. I think my hat's falling off. I'm going crazy over here. Our next guest is Sid Baptista from PYNRS. PYNRS Clothing. I'll do it for him. The only black-owned running apparel company in the space. So just let
too much product, but
yeah, I think you brought too much product too. Like I'm
I
like, do you need a couple seats, bro, for your product too?
I know.
All right, man. What's up, Sid?
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's good.
Slide all the way up.
Check.
There we go. There we go.
My guys.
We are here.
Guys,
we
this
are
is big, man.
It is crazy. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you were able to join us on the pod or on the live. It's not a pod.
I think you might have been the first person to sign up to be on the.
I think I saw
on the live cast. Yeah.
one of you posted it, and I was like, right on it. I emailed whoever the woman was that was on it, and then I was like, I hit him up, and it took a while.
It's only right though.
Yeah. It was good though. I'm excited.
Yeah,
This
we
is big for y'all.
were
This is
excited to have
huge.
like a friend, like okay, to talk to.
This is better, so I can sit back and look at both of y'all.
Yeah.
No, this is cool, and y'all came here, you saw this opportunity, and you pitched it, and it's dope. So
yeah, man. I mean, you know how it works. Sometimes you just gotta do the thing, bro.
Absolutely.
You can't wait for him to be like, "Yo, do you wanna?"
Right.
Hey, we got this thing that you should probably do. But yeah. So let's talk about Pioneer.
Yeah.
Let's when did we start? And then we'll start from there because it's a great story, and as of it seemed like the last year been crazy for you.
It seems it has been crazy. I've been popping around the world really, but so it actually starts with when I started a running community in Boston called Pioneers Run Crew, just to diversify running in Boston, bringing more running to communities that weren't being activated. And so it started that in 2017, and about 2020 I'd been working with so many brands, and I just didn't feel like the brands really had our best interests, right? And they would give us product, they would work with us. They would never pay us in cash, but they would use us to create content and then sell product back to us.
Yeah.
So in 2020, I decided to create a running apparel company, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean that like you saw the opportunity and you did the thing.
Yeah.
I love that you said like that that communities that weren't being activated. I think I know what you mean, but kind of expound on that though.
Yeah. So I'm from Boston, born and raised, big running community. But when you look at Boston, when you think of running, you're thinking of Charles River, you're thinking Boylston Street, even thinking a little bit of Cambridge a bit. But you're never really thinking of like Roxbury, Mattapan, Dorchester, whereas like majority of Boston, the biggest neighborhood in Boston is Dorchester. And so you never really see that. And the Boston Marathon obviously does not run through Boston. I don't know if you know that, but it runs starting in the suburbs.
Just a little bit of Boston.
Yeah,
like a little bit. Yeah,
like a mile, a little bit.
Well, almost the worst part. I mean, that's the part where I can't even see straight anymore. So it's like I don't even know what city I'm in.
So basically, so we never see running. So I didn't grow up seeing running, and so I decided that we needed to bring running to the neighborhood. And so that's
No,
that's
I love
fantastic.
that. I mean, and then so started a company in this space.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the support that you've gotten just from the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And then what pushback as well.
Yeah. So I'd say, I mean, I got started in 2020. If y'all remember, 2020 was very friendly.
Yeah.
Everybody's calling us.
Yeah.
You know,
That was a good
so
time. That was a good
people were
time.
calling me to work with Pioneers Run Crew. And I was like, well, I have 6 other leaders you can talk to, but I want to know where you make your product.
Got it.
And so we had brands step up and really make some really dope introductions that helped us get into a really good supply chain. So all of our fabrics from Italy. We make our product in Malaysia. And yeah, so it's been really good. So that has been really good. And the fact that I started a running community first is what's actually helped catapult this thing to where it is, because we haven't raised any money. Like we bootstrapped a little bit of money. REI is an investor at a little bit.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I've actually been impressed that you've been able to do these pop-up shops at every world major, especially this year. And it sounds like each one has been successful.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. You know, like you said, you might not be making like big profits, but you're getting the product sold. You know, people are coming to your shop, and it's just growing and growing and growing. It sounds like.
Yeah, it does. And then also the pop-ups, although they're not always profitable, they also just drive this perception of like we're bigger. We punch above our class weight, our belt. And so it has been very helpful. And we're going to be launching an REI, which is great. And the good thing is when people do buy our product, about 50% return customers. And so
dope.
Products.
Yeah,
really good.
I think that like hopefully at one point, not saying that like that you want people to not return, but I feel like a lot of that return customer thing is like people are buying into what you're doing, you know, and which is great because it's like it's not many people doing what you're doing, so it's like you need that buy-in, you need people to like this is we're choosing to spend our dollars here, you know. Obviously, people still buy other things like this, that's fine,
and they
but
should.
It's like,
I think there should be an option, right? Like,
right. And then you choose like, hey, but I also want to come back and you know do this thing with you. But then at the same time, like as you grow, it's like a catch 22. It's like you don't want that to have to be the thing,
right?
Because you want you know other brands and other other folks that look like you and from different backgrounds to be able to do stuff like this. But this ain't normal yet. Like I said it on the call about this live stream, like the fact that me and Gary doing this not normal yet. You know, and what you're doing is definitely not normal yet at all. So like seeing you, like Gary said, in all these countries, and
Berlin with Drew. Shout out to you.
I was trying to get there and shout myself out, but you know you did it for me. Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, no, seeing you in Berlin and then having this beautiful space. And then not just hey, pull up, spend money. You provided the experience and hey, we got a shakeout. I mean, you did the thing. You know what I'm saying?
I think coming from the community space, being a run crew founder, being someone who was an influencer before creators, I think y'all are way different than what I did in 2016, 2017. We understand what the community needs. We know what people need and how they want to be felt, how they want to feel and connect to a brand. And so we try to connect to people on an emotional level because the product's the product. Do we make really good product? Yes. But the emotional connection is where we want to be. Grab this piece right here. Yeah. Let me grab this piece right here. So you guys are supposed to get this before this, but you know we're a small company, so I didn't get a chance to ship it to you yet.
I wasn't even going to talk about this yet. But
disregard my email then.
Where is the stuff? But hold on real quick. The reason why I said the good product. So you don't have the hoodie. I have the hoodie.
Yeah.
I think we saw a lot of his size. What size are you? Medium?
No, he don't need it.
Hold on. Yeah, sorry.
We ain't got no medium.
Yeah, no. So I put this hoodie on and I literally wore it for like 4 days straight. I needed to take it off by the 4th day, but it's super comfortable, and I was like upset that it was so comfortable. Like I can't pick anything else up. So thank you for that.
And for a guy who he gets a lot of good stuff. He knows product. This guy knows product.
I get a lot of stuff, and that's not even like that's no. I ain't trying to stunt.
That's his burner.
No, but I'm saying
Tommy products.
Tommy products.
The fact that you wore it that many times, knowing that you get a lot a lot of product,
legit,
really cool,
legit, bro.
So I'm actually gonna show off this a little bit. Because,
I'll hold that.
Yeah, hold that for me real quick.
Yeah.
So we make streetwear inspired performance running apparel. What that means is our product is made for versatility. So we take different pieces and we what am I trying to say here? Our stuff you can wear more than just running. So this piece right here, you can wear casually, you can wear out to a party, you can run a marathon in it, right? Like that's how good it is. The fabrics are, Italian, really good thermal fabric that wicks really well, but it's going to look really dope. It's going to be very, very comfortable. And you're not going to see any of the stuff that we make really anywhere else, because being the only Black-owned running apparel company, if you think of these brands, they're not creating for, whoever's creating product is not thinking about us. Like they're not. They might be working with us on the, on the marketing side, but they're not making product for us. And so I'm really passionate about centering our experiences across product development, product marketing, and, the whole story, the whole process.
No,
so,
for real.
So this is one of our key pieces that just came out. And we're launching REI, and so it's be cool. I have a lot more. I brought way too much product.
Yeah, way
so
too much. No, I
check
mean,
us out
No,
on
but
it.
REI, that's a huge.
yeah, I
that's a
mean, you
huge- that's-
kind of like casually like, yeah, no, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
what's that's crazy. I remember when you like announced like just the beginnings of that partnership,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So it may seem like it's kind of like old news to you, and you've probably been working through it for a while now and trying to get, make it happen, to like finally get it like
In the
sealed and
store.
deal. Yeah,
When
but
does
it's a
that
big
launch?
deal.
When
February, it ships soon, and it goes. We launch it in February.
nationwide?
We'll
or
be in
regional?
seven cities, from San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, DC, Boston, New York, Atlanta, DC, then Dallas. So we are part of the urban strategy.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's
Part of
no,
the
I mean,
urban doors.
Yeah, no, but that's it. It's kind of like, but at the same time, it's like it's that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because right now, like that's where that's that 50%.
Yeah.
That's that, like, you're gonna have return customers. Like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is who
yeah,
we
yeah.
supporting.
Yeah.
And they'll quickly see that, like, maybe we need to figure out how to get this in other stores.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think part of it's going to be on us as well, because we are a small brand, and people, although I feel like we're hot in the streets, if you're in the culture, you probably know PYNRS.
Yeah.
But if you're like a regular consumer runner,
Right,
you're
don't,
not yet. But for us to be successful in REI, we have to make sure that we are partnering with REI and creating communities around those stores to make
Yeah.
sure it's successful. And so I think we're good at that, though. So we'll figure that part
Yeah,
out.
it's like that vibe where you use the opportunity to get in the door to then make sure that it's not just
Sitting
you
there.
don't let them put you in,
Yeah.
continue keeping you in that little box. Like you figure out how to create and like spill over outside of like the people you brought.
Yeah, it's also like they will bring us in because they want our customer.
Right.
Our customer isn't shopping at REI.
I want y'all customers.
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's
saying?
how I feel about
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if I just let them decide, that there's nothing like us.
Yeah.
So they can't tell our story. And so we gotta be on top of that. So
No, I think
I'm
if
excited.
you can get some community activation out of REI, it benefits both groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And I like to drop the REI because it helps other retailers who are trying to get into out here
Yeah.
be like, oh, okay then, right? Their eyes light up because they know to get into REI, it's like you got to go. They put you through the ringer, in terms of
Yeah.
sustainability.
No, like, it's a
in
big
terms of
deal.
in terms of like how they work, right? And so it's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, congratulations on that and like all the success that you've had.
Thank you.
It seems like, like I don't know what year I first, met you. Well, I don't know when it was, but
I think I flew in before I had
oh
product.
yeah, wow,
remember?
early, yeah, bro.
Before
You was
I had
doing
product,
a tour.
I had the tour. I had a camera on me.
Yeah,
Remember that? So before I had product, I knew I had to build community, and so I would fly to these different cities. And I came to Detroit twice. Actually, I came to Detroit twice because I love what y'all doing out there. But then once product landed in my hands,
you
I had
like
to
forget all that.
Yeah, I had to sell the
Yeah.
product. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
keep doing what the shit that I love to do, which is
That was
be
the
with
first
my
one.
friends.
That's the first one.
That's the first
That's
one,
the first
bro.
one.
First bleep of the
Yeah.
first bleep of the thing.
Yeah.
And
y'all
you
make
did-
me too comfortable.
You did
man.
smooth.
It's
Hey,
the whole
chill
beat.
out. Hey, we got it. It's your time up anyway, man. But no,
Y'all let us up here. This is what we do.
honestly though,
We'll beep it out.
Yeah, my bad.
it's too
my
late.
bad,
No,
my
it's
bad.
live, bro.
My bad.
Oh,
He
it
keeps
is?
saying-
This is live?
I
This
can't
is
even say
live.
what I said. Oh, man.
But no, we
Boy,
made a
should've
big
killed
deal
me.
out of nothing.
No,
It was
that's
crazy.
cool, it's cool. I
We
like
said
it, I like
nothing. But thank you so much for pulling up. I'm super glad that you reached out, and this is why this was cool because we got to do like the Nike thing,
Yeah,
you know,
which is awesome.
and which is awesome. And then the other brands that are here too, but also some of the other brands that have been on here, including PYNRS, it would have been like the brand that really maybe didn't get like the attention that it deserved.
Yeah.
And so like to see you connect really quickly with TRE and make sure that you're a part of this was super important.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're here because I just want to pull up to every city, see y'all doing your thing.
Thank you.
And then keep getting hoodies from you because I'm gonna somehow try to wear that in the summertime, unfortunately.
Nah, man. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm
I appreciate
looking
it.
forward to this hoodie. I'm looking forward to get the
No,
comfort,
Gary, we'll
the
take care
comfort
of
and the
you.
care that the hoodie provides Tommy. I would like that as well.
No, yeah. You guys do a great job. I mean, part of the reason why I reached out is TRE, but it's also y'all. Y'all got influence. You got your ears to the streets,
Yeah.
and people follow in what you guys are talking about. And so I wanted to make sure I was part of that. So give y'all flowers too.
Where do people find Pioneer?
PYNRS.com, PYNRS.com, and then REI very soon, and hopefully in your local running retail store. So tell them that you want PYNRS.
Manifest it.
We'll pull up.
What size is this? I'm like, you ain't even
We
gotta
can't
take-
sell stuff at REI. We can't give stuff at REI.
Yeah.
You'll get a package.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
all
we'll
right,
take
all
care.
right.
Thank you, though.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Sid.
I appreciate y'all.
See you soon. We're gonna stop. We're gonna pull up on you in a minute. Thank you so much for coming up.
Sounds good. Thank you, bro.
All right, don't take the headphones with you.
Appreciate y'all, man. That was cool, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you,
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Peace.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Shady.
I gotta bring it back to my booth.
Shady business, man. Shady business. All right, man. I'm still kind of floating from this is a steady flow of awesomeness we got going on right now.
It's been a good day.
I feel like we could go to 8 o'clock, but we're not because I think I'm getting a little loopy.
Well, I think they shut down at 6.
True.
So-
True. Where's my coffee? All right, cool. So, all right, next we have Fleet Feet pulling up. We got R.A. Perez. Let's go.
And Dave Zimmer.
All right. Oh yeah, let me move. I'm
He's
sorry.
gonna move, and then we're gonna have you guys in the middle here. Yeah. Hey, man. Good to see you. Yeah, you as well. There's Thomas from Believe in the Run. There's Megan Featherson.
See. All right, guys. All right, so we got Fleet Feet here. What's going on, man? How's the conference going for you so far? You can take the mic off if you need to.
Yeah, if you need to.
Yeah. Or just pull up real close. There you go. Yeah. So how's everything going?
It's been an amazing few days so far. My team from Chicago got in on Monday, did some retail exploration through the streets of Austin. So it's kind of hard not to love this town.
Yeah.
I've been coming down here for the last 16 years and have seen this town change quite a bit. But as it continues to change, it continues to impress because everywhere you go, there's music. Everywhere you go, there's amazing running. Everywhere you go, there's amazing athletes and some darn good barbecue.
Yeah, the food. Yeah, don't forget the food.
Yeah. Gary likes food. So Fleet Feet is number one is a national company. How many stores now?
268.
Okay, so you kind of got the United States covered. Is that what you're?
We're in 38 out of 50 states.
Okay. All right. I'll help you get through those other states.
That's what I'm relying on.
this is gonna do it.
That's why I'm here, man.
Yeah. So is that the goal? I mean, the main goal here is to continue to make those connections and figure out how to continue to expand to provide these experiences for the shoppers.
So Fleet Feet is kind of broken into two different companies. You have franchisees like myself. So my wife and I have owned the Chicago market for the last 27 years. We currently have 8 doors in the Chicago market. And then we have company-owned doors, which Audie is part of, and he runs Austin. He makes Austin happen. But I don't think it's growth for growth's sake. The idea is to be as connected to the community and do the best job with the stores that we have. Bringing more people in that are local in order to connect and be part of the community. So yeah, growth is everything that business talks about, but I really think it's doing it quality first and making sure that you're connecting to the community.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Austin run scene, bro. Like, how is that? It's going well.
Yeah, it's hot. I mean, Dave more or less pitched everybody listening on the city for me. So the continued growth of what the city has been for the last 10, 15 years will only continue. Thank you, Dave. But it's hot now.
Yeah.
So to come back to your original question, it's like it's vibrant, with TRE, obviously it elevates the experience in the city that much more, to Dave's point about everything across doors downtown. But when it comes to the run community, on our end, and to Dave's point about true community, we leverage the opportunity to bring people together this week, maybe more than ever and at a higher frequency than ever, alongside our vendor partnership. So very much bleeds into, the community, whether it be on-site at stores or off-site, wherever we may be hosting. But the Austin running community has been well established for some time. I've had the fortune of being an operating partner for going on 6 years now. And the run community was healthy even in advance of. And so making sure that we're, finding our safe place alongside those individuals that now call this place home, and the new individuals that are coming along, moving in every single day, and hope to meet them where they are. But it's busy. It's good here.
Yeah, we talked to Christina Henderson, the very first guest on our show earlier today. And I asked her why TRE keeps coming back to Austin. And she said, Austin's home for the running community. And I've been to Austin a handful of times, but never to run, until yesterday and today. And it's been great. The little river path, I'm guessing that's like the most popular spot to run in, but I feel like, you know, the whole city really kind of, even beyond TRE, is a running city. Lots of fun little loops and races to get involved with. I feel like Austin's just kind of built for this area, built for the sport.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we have a paved gravel 10-mile loop in the heart of the city with access points and exits like on every single few miles, which I think is a very unique something. So if you're looking to go out and back, or shorter distance runs, or get a couple of 10-mile loops, we actually had a few maniacs a few weeks ago run a 50-miler on the Town Lake Trail there, which is just incredible.
I like that I like that you use the word maniacs.
Yeah,
I mean, just call it what it is.
Yeah,
So
it's a complimentary adjective.
Yeah. No, I didn't feel it was bad. I'm just like, but that's what it is.
I take it that wasn't you though. You weren't the one running.
I was very much cheering them on in spirit. I was there in spirit. We'll say
I mean,
that.
honestly, at that point, cheering probably is even more important. I mean, if I'm at mile 40, like anything, I'm gonna need somebody to say something.
For sure.
I'm not doing this for myself.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So anything from that level of experience, right? In terms of ultra distance and just the fitness enthusiast, if you will, that come along. It's like it's such an accessible and welcoming trail because it's centrally located.
I was telling our producer Nick, I feel like Austin's it's got a small town feel in a bigger city, and I feel that kind of helps again develop and encourage and keep the running community up and going here. Am I right in that? Again, having only been to Austin like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the fortune of living here. This is my second go round, but even I grew up in South Texas and would come up for races in high school and in college. And this is more or less where I wanted in my heart of hearts to end up doing what we're doing right now. But for what it's worth, it's interesting seeing it go from kind of a quiet, sleepy town, if you will, to that much more vibrant. And I think with the pandemic, right? With that came an influx of individuals, but not only to the city, but to the sport.
Yeah.
And so getting to see that live and in action, it's very much different on this side of the pandemic as things have gotten back to maybe more normal the last few years. And that's not a complaint. My job and our job is to welcome them with open arms and show this beautiful city what it is. So hopefully we've held our end of that bargain.
I mean, from my end of it, again, I'm Tommy and I were talking about like we got to move down here and just to run. I mean, it's been we really enjoyed.
Well, I mean, it's also because like when we left Michigan, it was like 19 degrees. I mean, that kind of helps.
It does, yeah.
Yes, it's 150% warmer down here.
150% is a good number. I think that's probably appropriate. Yeah. Does it get really, really hot here in the summer?
Yes.
Like stay inside hot?
I'll let Audie talk about that, but I have an employee who lives down here who works remotely, and she will go on the treadmill from basically June through middle of September.
It hurt. The summer hurt.
Okay.
The summer hurt. And we've had, ups and downs in terms of highs and whatnot, but there was a range of, I think it was 45 days, which isn't a record by any means, but it was 45 days over 100 degrees.
Yeah,
consecutive days.
Never mind.
Consecutive days,
right? My nephew runs cross country. He's in Dallas. He went cross country, and he's like, I don't know how we did it,
The one day that we didn't break 100, the day that ended the streak, 1, we had rain, and 2, it hit 99, but everybody celebrated.
Wow.
I mean, everybody celebrated.
The streak is broken.
So give and a take, but it's Texas,
Yeah, I guess I'll just Gary. I'm gonna stay in Michigan. Because I mean, like, we complain about like 90 to like 120 days of winter, which is, I mean, it's not an exaggeration, I don't think, really. Like,
no,
it's
the
like
math checks out of it.
December to like it'll snow in March-ish,
Or April.
Or April.
Or May.
Okay, can you stop? I mean,
just speak the truth. That's all I'm doing.
To not be.
That's that lake effect. That's that Chicago lake effect snow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Detroit gets the same crap pretty much. But so I'm not gonna move to Austin anytime soon. I'll try to come down here as much as possible to visit you guys in the down seasons.
One of the things that's crazy about what Audie does and the stores here in Texas is, did you have runs going on in the mornings during that time?
Oh yeah.
Was there a sense of community, camaraderie, and love because everybody was suffering together?
Hadn't been any stronger is the thing. So you have to get out before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if even the level of surprise for what it's worth and confusion on my end was like, we have a community run under downtown shop every Friday morning, 6:30, same thing. But having 100+ people that show up at 6:30 in the morning, which is it's incredible.
That's awesome.
And also maybe we're an outlet for that camaraderie that
Yeah.
we're speaking to, right? It's like suffer together, get it done, get
Yeah.
a coffee, hang out, and do your thing afterwards.
I mean, because
So-
it's like 90 days of treadmills is a tough proposition, you know. But really quick to jump back to something that you said earlier. You said, you know, you weren't looking for growth just for growth's sake. You know, really more focused on like creating and building those communities, or like tapping into the communities that you're entering. And I'd like to do, I mean, I didn't know a bunch about Fleet Feet other than like obviously the Chicago market. You guys are doing a great job at making that known. And you know, and just having like that involvement with Chicago Marathon. Everybody knows if you're going to go there, you got to tap into a Fleet Feet event. But recently, in the last couple of years, there's been some expansion to like the Detroit area, or Metro Detroit area, and I feel like it's some like you did it for a big name store to come into a community, and it still felt like somehow there was more community being built there, and it wasn't just like another big name somewhere. Actually, one of our friends is one of the Fleet Feet ambassadors for Michigan, Ernest Holly. So shout out to Ern.
Ernest. And Max was talking about Ernest earlier today. Max Coatney, who's in charge of social media for Fleet Feet, thinks he's a outstanding individual.
I mean,
both personally and I mean, he was telling me his story. It's heartwarming. It's
his story, his story and his wife's story is crazy. We all went to PR Project and a few others, including Ern, went to Detroit to the New York City Marathon and ran, and had a really great time. And his wife came out too and tapped into the Reeves Foundation events there. So yeah, their story as a family is just so amazing and so inspiring, and so glad he found running and then ended up in our lives in a way too, so we can kind of learn and experience what he's got going on.
But it speaks to your point that somebody from Fleet Feet knew his story and knew that of the community that he was involved in.
Yeah,
it's not about us. None of this is about us. This is. I went to school in a Jesuit background from the time I was in high school till I graduated college, and the whole phrase is men and women for others.
Yeah,
and that's what I believe we give, at least in our marketplace, and what Audie does in his marketplace, and it's kind of the ethos: give of yourself and you will get in return. Nothing gives more than left, right, repeat when you go out for a run.
Yeah, no,
That's great.
100%.
I
And
love that.
so
I love
you know,
that.
just hats off to you all as in your markets for continuing to build and grow and create spaces for people to do that left, right, run thing together, and really just tap into the human side of this whole thing. You know, because I said earlier, you know, like running has changed, you know, pretty much all of our lives in some way, and pretty much always for the better. So
That's our tagline: running changes everything.
Oh, it did. Okay, so yeah, I read the pamphlet. Okay, apparently I'm nailing these interviews. But you know, thank you so much for joining us. That's the biggest fly I've ever seen.
Welcome to Texas.
Actually scared me a little bit.
That is a good sign. Boy, over there.
I just felt like it was like that. What is it? Beetlejuice. Like, you know, Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I feel like it just said something to me.
I was gonna say next up is the
next
fly.
up
We're
is-
just gonna have to put the headphones on them.
What's your name, bro? Thank you so much for joining the show. Tell people how to tap into what Fleet Feet's doing.
Follow us on Instagram. Each and every single market will have some beautiful local content that, you know, upcoming events, products, you name it, within those community ties. So probably the easiest for those our age.
Yeah.
And go to fleetfeet.com. Amazing blogs that are on there.
Yeah.
If you're running in the
That's so
dark, if
funny.
you're running in winter,
That's not what
it's
I meant.
time.
Yeah, that's so funny. He goes Instagram and he goes .com. Let's do it. All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The fly left, by the way. I was getting kind of weird. It was just sitting there.
On the other side of my hat.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm sorry for shooing your pet away. All right, man. Thank you.
Hey, man.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is this your drink? There you go. All right. So, whoa, don't knock anything over. All right, now next we got Keen. We got
Miss
Scott.
Scott Owen.
Keen. Scott, come on up. Come on down. All right, Gary, tell him what he's won
You've won an opportunity to be on the YouTubes.
on the YouTubes.
Yeah, that's what the kids are calling it.
That's what the kids put the
I'll
S on
take
the
it.
end.
I'll take it.
Yeah. How you doing, Scott?
We're good. Happy Wednesday.
Man,
Happy
Is
TRE.
today Wednesday?
That was a shot in the dark. That was a shot in the dark.
It's like I just got here yesterday, and I feel like I've been here for 3 days.
Yeah, I've been here for 4, so I'm right there with you.
Oh, so you're ready to go?
Yeah, I have to drive our trailer in.
Oh man, did you set the booth up too?
Yep, me and a couple other coworkers. But that was
Oh man, you should have got Emma. She would have did it.
Yeah.
Emma's gone. She's
Oh.
she's one of We're trying to plug Emma as much as possible. Emma's grandparents were watching, so yeah, shout out Emma's
Hi.
grandparents. Hi. All right, so like let's for the folks that don't know about Keen, let's give us a quick overview of what Keen is, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we are a family-owned, privately held outdoor brand based out of Portland, Oregon. We've been around over 20 years. We started with our iconic Newport sandal, or Super Dad shoe, or toe bumper shoe, as it's been referred to. And from that shoe, completely have grown into a full outdoor and lifestyle brand.
I want to see this first shoe. I gotta
It's
check
wild.
it out.
You'll see.
It's
We
wild.
used to have a balloon, an inflatable on top of the trailer last year, but
dang.
it decided against this this time around.
And so like you started in one spot, and it was went well, got some it does well if it's got a nickname,
Yeah.
And tell me, like, over the last few years, like coming off of COVID, because that's definitely a very pivotal year for most businesses. What's changed over the last few years that you're really excited about?
Well, I think right before COVID, it was starting to feel like in-person events were getting underappreciated. They were happening so much, pop-ups left and right, all the stuff. And then now, with COVID, nobody's been outside, nobody's been doing events. So now there's this demand to get back out there, this energy, this excitement again, for human connection.
Yep.
So that's what I've been super excited about with Keen, is getting back out on the road, doing events, meeting people, coming to TRE. And just, it's so fun to be around this energy again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but earlier today they were talking about how brick and mortars are going to be around a bit more and maybe even grow. And I was saying, because people really want to touch and feel the shoe and the product and take it out for a test. And now I think that's part of it, is part of the post-pandemic vibe of just people really wanted to do something real.
Yeah.
Instead of like an online feature.
Totally. And footwear, that's your connection to the ground.
Yeah.
It is so important.
Yeah.
So it has to fit right. It has to feel good. You got to feel good when you look at yourself in the mirror in them. That's your starting point. That's your base.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about. So what are you guys excited about here at TRE?
Yeah. So we're showing off a shoe. I don't know if can I show this?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
You can sit
it up front.
So this is the 450 WK, or this the WK 400 waterproof shoe.
Okay.
And it has our Keen Curve technology, and it takes a ton of pressure off the lower body.
Okay.
So it's now being used by some pretty big name athletes for recovery.
Okay.
Okay.
You can guess he's a quarterback who just announced that his practice window is open as of today. But he's been wearing our shoes for Achilles recovery.
Okay.
And that has been a really exciting development over the last couple months.
Oh, sweet.
And that has opened a lot of new doors for the brand that haven't been there before.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
That was surreal to wake up to, or to get some texts being like, "Are you watching Monday Night Football?" from Keen employees. And I'm going, none of you watch sports.
Yeah.
Why are you texting me about Monday Night Football? And
Right.
then for that to happen was pretty wild.
Yeah, and he's on the McAfee show like once a week as well. So
Yep.
yeah, it's another
Yes. Yeah.
area
It's
where
been that's been a while. It's been a wild month and a half. Thank you.
yeah, no kidding.
I'm really upset that I don't have cable right now.
No, McAfee show is online. I watched that on
YouTube.
TikTok.
Oh.
On the TikToks.
I'm
Yep.
old. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the shoe though, because for folks that haven't heard of the brand,
Yeah, totally.
Why would they say like, hey, like why am I going on the online to figure out like what these are about and what can I look forward to?
Well, I think we could rewind a little bit and say, I think one of the coolest things about Keen when you're working with our brand is, so when Keen was founded about 20 years ago, you typically show up to trade shows like this.
Mm-hmm.
You get your name out there, you do your thing, you hustle. The year that we were launching was the year the tsunami hit in Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
So our owner had an entire marketing budget set aside for launching the brand, doing the stuff, and said that does not feel right. And he donated the entire budget to disaster relief
Fantastic.
Sheesh.
and said, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's how the company was founded, and that's where it's rooted. Everything we do comes from that.
Yeah.
So when
Love it.
you're shopping with Keen, you're shopping with a family-owned brand. That's not going to change, and we try our best to do good. I think we have a platform to make some change where we can, and we're trying to do our best on that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this shoe, what's exciting and some story behind it is Rory Jr., one of our footwear designers, he actually got in a pretty gnarly ski injury, shattered his leg, and got in a pretty bad headspace and was stuck at home and it was struggling. And walks are what got him out of his funk.
Okay.
But then as he was going on the walks, they were for mental health too. So he was realizing he just wanted to stay outside and move, but the current shoes he was wearing wasn't allowing him to walk as far or stay out as long.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to beat any PR or speed record. He just wanted to be out longer and have less pain. So he said, I'm going to make a shoe. So fully patented, can't copy this. There's a lot of tech built into this curve. It may not look like it, but there is.
Yeah.
4 years of development, tons of testing, and we're really excited that it's starting to pick up some momentum.
That's
That's
exciting.
dope.
That's a
Yeah.
great story too.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's what you hear more and more of folks who, I need this. So instead of looking for it, I'm just going to go ahead and make it.
yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And then for it to kind of come full circle and its big first win is an injured athlete going through the recovery process, trying to get back to where he was kind of this odd, weird, beautiful story.
That's fantastic.
So
is this available now?
Yep, it is available now. You can get it on KOL or Keen Online, keenfootwear.com.
I was like, dang, something else I don't know.
Yeah,
about.
sorry. But yeah, it's ready to purchase, and then we're gonna have some special limited colors coming out in December as well.
Awesome.
Hey, are they going to be green and white by any chance?
Who knows?
He's like, he tried. Yeah, and so like what for someone that's looking, so what other shoes do you have that are like your staple?
Yeah, so our iconic shoes are Newport sandal.
Okay.
So it's your all-in hybrid sandal. You could wear it hiking, outdoors, travel, in the river. They're washable. The kids' shoes are phenomenal as well. But what's been really fun for me working for Keen and seeing how we're perceived is in the States, that toe bumper sandal is like an outdoorsy hiking sandal.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world, it's a lifestyle hype shoe.
Okay.
Red carpets, K-pop. I mean, it's popping up everywhere.
My daughter was into K-pop heavy for a second.
Oh.
So maybe if I get her a pair, she'll be like, yo.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get approval for my
Be cool.
children.
We all are. We all are. Yeah.
But that's been really fun. So that would be the iconic shoe. All of our footwear is meant to be dual purpose. We want you to be able to do multiple activities in them. And yeah, that Newport sandal, along with our Targhee hiker, which was our original hiking shoe, would be our two main staples. And then we've got a ton of other products.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you got? What are you looking forward to in this next year, 2024, as a brand?
Man, I'm excited to just get back out and start interacting with people again. And Keen has such a strong give back component to the brand.
Yeah.
And that to me is what fills the soul. That's what keeps me going.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, every brand here, we sell something.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, it's shoes.
Yeah.
So it's on my tombstone. I don't want it to say Scott Owen sold shoes. I wanted to say something else.
Right.
Gave back, tried to make a difference, did what they can. So what I'm excited about is we have a lot of initiatives coming up where we can use our platform to try to start making some change that we want to see happen in the industry, bring more people in.
Yeah.
And hopefully keep it going.
That's dope. I mean, I always find that super admirable when brands and just people in general like really tie themselves to a greater impact. Because a lot of times we get really caught up in like our vision and the dream, and ways to make an impact, but not necessarily like that a legacy of that someone can easily be inspired from. And for the brand just to have started off the way that it did, to be dedicated to helping people as opposed to like helping people, and by we got shoes for you to buy.
Yeah.
We'll help you.
You're welcome.
So you spend your money. You're welcome. But I just find that great and amazing that it's that the brand started that way, but then it continues to live on, after 20 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's been cool because we're evolving, and the outdoor industry, the running industry is evolving. But for us, I didn't grow up. I grew up with sports. That was me. I was not outdoors. I was not hiking. That was not anything I ever thought I'd want to do. So the fact that I've been working in the industry for 10 years has kind of blown my mind.
Yeah.
But I love it.
That's awesome.
And I wouldn't change it because I get to open a lot of doors that haven't been opened.
Right.
And kind of create that path.
Yeah.
And with the team, and that's been such a rewarding feeling. And I want to see more people who look like me outside, hiking, feeling safe, going out, having fun, interpreting the outdoors differently. I mean, just get outside.
Well, so when you say that, you want more people that look like you to be feel welcome in these other spaces that aren't necessarily just like running down the sidewalk.
Totally.
How does, if someone else is listening, they're like, or watching, they say like, me too. I want to make an impact like that too. What's some advice for someone that doesn't own a brand or doesn't run a brand? What's their advice for someone that wants to make that type of impact and change?
Totally. I mean, first thing is just getting outside and doing the thing, whatever that is, doing the thing. Get outside, but bring your friends with you. Bring whoever you want to loop in. Just start bringing out. It might be a 5-minute walk outside around your neighborhood, and like just ease into it. But I think on the brand side, I hear it from every brand. We all hear it. DE&I is super important.
Yeah,
It's what we're gonna do. But it's just words. You got to commit.
Yeah.
And to me, it's commit, and it's not committing for a month. It's not committing for a year. You're committing.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
And that to me is the biggest step. Is brands got to start making real relationships with communities that they haven't tried to speak to, and do it in a way where we're not leaving. You can't buy your way into the culture anymore.
Yeah.
I think the consumer's too smart now.
Yeah.
And it's plugging in on the brand side, finding the nonprofits that are trying to do good, and it's okay if they have 50 followers.
Right.
That's the point. Grow with.
Yeah.
Grow with.
Yep.
And I think a pet peeve of mine is you see a lot of brands look at, that nonprofit they have a huge following. We gotta work with them.
You gotta tap into
them.
Yeah.
But no, you don't. Look at your local nonprofit who could use your support, and not just dollars, but they also might need a strategy session on how do you use social media. It doesn't just have to be dollars.
Resources. Yeah.
Resources. Yeah. So resources doesn't just mean dollars. That's your skill set. That's your bandwidth.
Yeah.
Is it making videos or photos?
Yeah.
That is contributing to the nonprofit.
It's an all-encompassing not just
exactly.
Yeah. And I think brands probably even brands that want to do well, I think it always feels like it has to be money. I mean, I think it should be.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that should be one of the first things that's said, like, hey, how can we support this? And I didn't think about the resources part, and I think that like how TRE partnered with us on this.
Yep.
We're not only working with them in a partnership to make this happen. They're sharing their audience. They're sharing the people that are supporting this whole thing happening. We get to be in front of all this.
Yep.
So it doesn't always have to be this one way of like, here's some money and do something with it, or let's pull up to like a group run, and we'll act like we like everybody.
Yeah.
It's like how can we partner to do something that's super authentic to that space, or your space, because I think one of the questions that we all got after 2020 and even the conversation still, like we had queer running society on earlier, those conversations are still being had. Was like, as a brand, how can we do this and this? And it really should be like, hey, we see what you're doing. How can we support you?
Yep.
You're doing a thing.
Yep.
How can we support you doing that? And along the way, maybe you could teach us some things, and we'll learn together and grow together.
It's a partnership.
Yes.
It's not we're writing you a check and do the dance.
Right.
Yeah.
That is not it.
Yep.
And
I can't even really dance, bro.
yeah, no, me neither. I wish I could. I wish.
It's like I see other
I got
people
the
do
Carlton.
it.
I got the Carlton. That's about
I
it.
could barely do that. I mean, I see other people dance, and then I just
It
kind
looks
of like,
easy, right? It looks
yeah, it's
easy,
like
but
I
it's
could do
not.
that, and then you go home, and then you turn the same song on,
Yeah.
and then your legs just don't do what the person's legs was doing. But yeah,
So true.
I took a left turn there.
No. I love it.
We're getting
I love it. I
getting
like
loopy.
it. Yep.
But I mean, it's like there was and is a lot of that where brands, I think sometimes they think that they're doing, they mean right, I guess.
Yep.
But at this point, it's been long enough.
You should
and
know.
you should know. And if you don't, we also on this side have to be okay with passing opportunities.
100%.
That don't feel right.
100%.
That don't feel right.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. And for any nonprofits who are looking for grants, Keen, we have a Keen Effect grant program. We do it every year. We give out grants in $10,000 increments. They're unrestricted funds.
Oh, sweet.
It's a great opportunity. If you haven't check us out, and please apply.
Awesome. That's awesome.
That's good to hear. Yeah, because I know, our friends over at Curling Society were just talking about that earlier. So,
yeah.
Tap in because they're literally like that's what he was talking about earlier.
Amazing.
So, tap in with them. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can people find Keen and support?
Keenfootwear.com. Give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok, all that good stuff. But appreciate what you guys are doing. TRE needs you guys here every year.
Oh, well,
Can you say that really loud?
TRE needs you guys every single year.
Oh, she's right there. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, man. So, thanks, bro. All right, man. So, officially, that wraps the afternoon session of day one.
Day one.
I feel like we did I feel like we did a thing. We did a good job. I feel like
I'll give ourselves A plus.
A plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever like
A plus.
Would you say A plus? Okay. Well, thank you. We got applause from the PFA Live educational conference in Austin, Texas. So, she's not even listening.
She heard you.
Thank you so much for TRE for having us here. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you to all the brands that stopped in. We
got
had
big names
time.
tomorrow.
Big names.
Big brands, big names, more fun, more
What was one of your highlights of the day?
honestly, just being here and having fun with it. Like just having a fun conversation, a couple laughs. I think everybody we talked to was everybody was interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody had something good to say. And there was a mix of everything.
If you're watching this, please leave a comment and let us know what your favorite part of the day was as well.
Yeah, and then also let us know what you want to hear or questions from tomorrow. We have a list online of our guests tomorrow, so we will
go to www.therunningevent.com / whatever live stream. And the list up for tomorrow will be there with all the times. So tap into that www.therunningevent.com live stream.
Tommy, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at Tommy_runs. That's TOMMIE_RUNZ.
That's fantastic. And then you can find me at Gary is a runner, all one word. And the PR project is at the.pr.project.
Yeah, follow us on all three of those things. Tap in. Let us know what you want to hear tomorrow. Peace out until tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
See you later.